What is going on, guys and girls? Today is Friday, June 5th. Thank God it's Pod Day, and welcome to episode 14 of Can't Stop Playing. I'm your host, Zach Ostrobo, and joining me is an eclectic cast from around the globe. We almost missed him. Mad Max Blitzwinger is here.
I indeed am. I drove in here on my Mad Max car.
You got your chrome mouth spray all ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
It's called a Madmobile, by the way.
I was actually hanging out with the guy that has the guitar with the flamethrower.
The flaming guitar, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, let's just say that thing, playing it in a little small arena, not a good idea. Like, it was weird.
I hear it's a prop for Taylor Swift's next concert.
Dude, Taylor Swift is mesmerizing, man. I was at the Taylor Swift concert in Detroit this week, and I was in the pit, so I was like 10 feet away. And I was expecting to hate it and be on my phone the whole time, but I was completely enraptured for.
What's the pit?
2 hours.
Does that mean you have a perfect perspective of our armpits?
No, like the standing section, right in front of the stage.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay,
all right, I'm gonna ask you something, and I want complete honesty.
All right, yep.
Did you sing along to any songs?
I did not sing along, but I will admit that I do know most of them. Not word for word. I just know them from.
Yeah.
Why would you not sing along?
I know them word for word.
I was too just mesmerized.
What were you doing?
I was just kind of just in the moment.
Drooling?
She is really tall though. With high heels on, she's already 6 feet, so she was taller than me. And I'm 6'2", 6'3".
Did you just run up on the stage quickly? I'm sorry, everyone. I just need to make sure she's taller than me. Could you just stand straight?
Right, we did. There was a moment where she had a light up dress and all the lights went out, and that's when I was like, hold on, let's just get a height comparison right now.
Okay, that's good.
But my favorite thing about concerts, or NFL games, anything, this was at Ford Field, is the dudes who have to stand and watch the audience but are not allowed to turn around. That temptation must be so massive to have to only watch the people viewing the awesome thing that's taking place behind them and knowing I don't know if they're going to get sniped or fired or what happens if they turn around, but that's some serious self-control that I would not have.
Yeah, it's
they
Suicide
can hear it
Squad.
though, can't they? They can hear the concert for free, so that's...
But they can't, they hear people cheering at a football game and they can't turn around. They're either someone got their head ripped off, they scored a touchdown.
By the way, I guess now we know what Zach was doing. He was just staring at the guys. He's like, "Is he going to turn around?"
We made
is he going to turn around?
We had some really intimate eye contact moments, me and the security guards.
Yeah,
we got to know each other in a way that words couldn't even express.
Were they mesmerizing?
So
as
it
well?
felt like the songs were about you two, right?
They were. Me and the security guards. Dude, the smoke machine came. I could barely see the security guard. It was just this misty environment. I mean, all jokes aside, Taylor Swift is a consummate pro. The way she handles her stuff and the passion and whatever you think about the music, it was absolutely excellent. And speaking of excellent, Commander Ketchup joining us from Texas, Gabe Volatile Gabe.
Wow, look, he even dressed up in color, huh?
He did surprise me because, all right, spoiler, guys, we already did this
twice.
We did this twice now. This intro, and you surprised me. God, you're
Gabe,
good at that.
I love you. I have the most special nicknames for you.
All right, I want to be on stage with Taylor Swift next time, so our connection can be the one that's mesmerizing.
All right, I mean,
and then when she sings, "We're Never Getting Back Together," that song can be about us.
She actually did sing that song. You predicted it, and she actually dipped back into her old albums and
I told you. I knew she was gonna go back to that.
Played that on electric guitar, which was kind of cool.
That's as classic as Taylor Swift gets. If classic is a word you can use, I like her music. Though.
And then the stage, it would extend out and raise up and spin. I'm not even this was madness, and so she'd be closer to all the people far away. And then they could pull on her hair and all that.
And were you we paid for pit
yeah, I was
tickets?
Whoa,
we paid for pit tickets.
Why are you spending half the time
hair, though?
way back there when this costs ungodly amounts of money to be right here? But whatever, it was. So
it costs more money to stand up in a concert. So you're standing.
Well, yeah, because you're closer though.
I was real close when she blew the kiss into the audience. I could feel it on my lips.
Wow,
that's how.
Wow.
You might be in love.
Jump up.
It was really, really awesome. Anyways, speaking of really awesome as well, a man, a myth, a legend. He loves Fallout. He doesn't like Nintendo. He has a turtle. Scott Game Riot for the third week in a row.
What an intro. Wow. Doesn't like Nintendo. I don't mind them. Splatoon's okay.
I was gonna say they missed a hell of an intro earlier, right? But I think this one topped it actually.
I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve.
Yeah,
a lot.
He's magic with words.
He's the opposite of Sony.
Yeah. speaking of Sony, Uncharted Collection. We can just dip right into it. This week we're covering Fallout 4, Uncharted Collection, Dark Souls 3, a lot of rumors. A lot of stuff has been leaked pre-E3, Battleborn. We've also been playing more Splatoon and Yoshi's Woolly World, which we'll touch on. But let's start off with that Uncharted bit right there. This morning on their mobile store, an image for Uncharted Collection was leaked, and therefore they just dumped the trailer today. So coming in October, I believe October 9th, we've got Drake's Fortune, Drake's Among Thieves, and Drake's Third Time's the Charm. Deception. There we go.
Yeah.
And they're redoing the textures, and they're bringing them to PlayStation 4. And I saw someone ironically say, like, now Uncharted can go head-to-head with Gears of War, just like the old times, except Uncharted has 3 games in their collection, and Gears of War has 1, so it makes it look even stupider.
They're not...
Well, just like old times, Uncharted is going to make Gears of War look bad.
Yeah.
Not sales-wise. Look at those sales numbers.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
Both are good games.
No, we did see because it happened once already.
Of course. We saw that when the install base was bigger on the Xbox. Now it's the other way around, so let's see what happens this time.
So what is the hype level for this?
For me, it's not much because I played it already, so I don't...
Yeah,
I'm hyped to, I guess, play 1 again, perhaps. Like, just see it retextured, 60 frames a second, full HD. But I'm not like... I played them before. I guess it's good for people that perhaps have just bought PS4, but... For me, it's not much of a excitement at all.
Yeah, I don't think the excitement's there for a lot of people. I love Uncharted. It's not that I don't like it, because I know I sound like down on it when I say I don't care, but I could go play them right now if I wanted to.
I think it's a bit scary that it's October 9th. I mean, that's a prime release date that you'd put a big game. So what does that say about Sony? You know,
that's
Sony doesn't have much. That's what I think. This has been rushed as well. This has been rushed out very, very quickly when they realised they have nothing for this year. They've gone, whoa, okay, let's get something together.
I really hope not, because Sony already made a big mistake with Street Fighter Ultra, right? Like that game
that wasn't Sony though.
No, but they gave it to their own developer. Like they had their own people.
Capcom didn't do that?
No, it wasn't Capcom. Yeah.
What the hell?
So they got their own like little company to do it, and they gave that to them as a project basically. So if they did the same thing, if they did the same thing with this, that's not good news. Because
I don't think this is rushed at all though, because I think they've been working on it, and I think that this was always going to come out before Uncharted 4. Like it, this is always how it was going to happen.
It's not being developed by Naughty Dog. I'll tell you that. I don't remember the name of the studio, it's but it's not.
It's like Blue Games or something.
That's not a good sign.
Speaking of Capcom, Mega Man is making this game.
Mega Man himself. He's developed. Do you guys have any...
They built him, and now they're like, hey, go design Uncharted HD.
The Mighty Number 9, you guys paid attention to that at all?
Yeah. I'm so excited.
I think it looks really, really
That was the least
really
excited,
goofy.
so excited ever. So excited,
I'm excited.
So excited.
No, it's exciting stuff. No, well, because I didn't want to, like...
It's getting a collector's edition.
What, Mighty Number 9?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I don't know why I heard HD collector's. I don't know, because we were talking about this Uncharted HD thing, even though the last ones were already HD. So this is just like a collection more than an HD-ified collection.
I think it's going to be HD 60. That's the new thing they're going to call it.
Yeah,
when it's HD and it's 60 frames, they'll call it HD 60.
We're going to enter this disgusting cycle where, like, PS5 is just remakes of PS4 games, and PS6 is just remakes of PS5.
It's just a cheap way of making money, isn't it? That's
I mean, it's just another way to go back to the well, so to speak.
Blue Point Games...
But then we aren't forced to buy it, are we? So it's...
You are.
Okay, I'm going to buy it.
It's a new UK law. Buy Uncharted Collection.
I mean, we're getting it later as well, so we get 2 days after you guys, which is fantastic. Again.
At least it's not 4 months.
Yep.
You got Woolly World, okay? You can't win. You can't win
game.
Every battle. Like, what do you want?
Blue Point Games has helped on Titanfall, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, Eco and Shadow Colossus Collection, God of War Collection, and now the Uncharted Collection. So they're
basically just like a remastered studio.
Yeah.
That's quite a boring job.
They should call themselves Blue Collection. Because it just always
makes more sense.
Are they called Blue because they're feeling blue because they don't ever get to make their own game? Like they just
they're probably called Blue because they make the games on Blu-ray discs.
Ooh, clever.
They're also
wait, no. The Metal Gear Collection was not on a Blu-ray disc.
Does it, Gabe? You broke my argument.
There is also an FCC confirmation of a terabyte PS4 SKU. So I'm sure we'll get that at
that
E3.
makes sense to me because I keep running out of space.
Everybody already has a terabyte though.
Do they?
What do you mean?
Yeah, it's super easy. A lot of people have like 2 terabytes in them now. Like it's not hard to do.
People don't do that.
I think a lot of people do that.
Will not do it.
What?
Okay, we might, but no one else will.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's not a common thing to happen.
Yeah.
I just want that Batman PS4.
Yeah, that's the one I want.
I want that.
Give me that glorious gray. Let's get to Fallout because it's just sitting in the wings.
Because nothing else matters.
So Fallout 4, the trailer came out. The game retains its 1950s
It's a gameplay
flair.
trailer.
It also looks like it was developed in the 1950s based on the visuals.
First
How long did
shots
that
have
take?
not been fired.
About 2 seconds.
but yeah, so it's probably coming out this
I
year.
love that.
There was a leaked.
Man, he said, he's Zachary.
Dude, it's gonna be a part of the debate. That's just it. But the incredible thing is that this game has, right now I just checked, 6.9 million views in one day and 191,000 likes on YouTube.
It's like PewDiePie
Broke the record for concurrent stream views on Twitch yesterday. It also boosted the Fallout 3 sales on Amazon by 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
It's crazy.
So people must have enjoyed the trailer, despite Zach's.
I think they enjoyed the idea of the trailer more than the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know when. The one thing I have to ask, like based on that, when did Fallout become this huge? Like, was it just me that missed out?
No, Fallout 3 was humongous.
Really?
Fallout 3 was
Was
like a mega game when it came out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like I really can't recall any game that got this reception. Like I don't even think, like I don't think Call of Duty had this many views and likes and everything. Like when they reveal new Call of Duties, FIFA, like all the big games.
They
like,
come out every
the only
year.
one maybe GTA.
We haven't seen a Fallout for 4 years, something like that.
So that's why you think it's just because
it's just less common, it's a massive game.
No, it's been more than 4 years, by the way. It's more like what?
Well, New Vegas, I'm thinking of. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm not counting New Vegas.
Yeah, there's a certain mystique around it that I find kind of crazy, but yeah, insane hype.
No, I just never knew it was this big of a game. Like I always thought it was like, you know, that kind of like 3 million, 4 million kind of sales.
No.
But like
So
this
way
looks
more than
like it's gonna rival like any big. Like, it's probably gonna be the highest selling game this year, right? Is that safe to say?
Batman.
Batman's not going to touch it.
I think Batman touches it.
No, Batman will not touch it.
Well, based on this response,
gone.
Gabe, I think Batman doesn't even have like a batarang to throw at this thing because it just. I've never seen, like, I don't know. I didn't expect Fallout to get this kind of reception.
I mean, Fallout 3 made this. Like, this happened because of Fallout 3.
So Fallout 3 was when this IP really got big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before that, like a lot of these people that are like in love with Fallout, we were just talking about it earlier. Like probably have never even played Fallout 2 and 1 because those are really really old games and they look old. So people complaining about how this looks, be quiet. Go play Fallout 2.
I'm just waiting for Zach to say, and this one doesn't look old.
So the thing I want to bring up is there was a leaked EB World document from Australia that showed coming 2015.
Yeah.
And Green Man Gaming, Amazon, GameStop have all listed it as a 2015
It's
date.
coming 2015.
Even Bethesda done it, didn't they, as well? I think Bethesda actually listed it.
Yeah, on
we
their
said
store.
it when we were doing our third-party thing. I said that it was going to be 2015 for sure.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does.
And the supposed date is October 23rd, which is a Friday. It's the date that the bombs first dropped in the Fallout universe. And that would be a great day for them to airdrop the games.
And again, some website, I don't remember which one, but one website did list that as the official date. Like
YouTube.com/GhostRobo?
No. I saw it on Twitter.
Twitter.com/GhostRobo?
Yeah, that's where I saw it. Yeah.
What are your takeaways, though? So this trailer comes out, right? It's got, a kind of robotic dog. It's got some people with saran wrap on their face. It's got bunkers and bombs and past and future. And what do we think?
I don't know where to start.
Don't know where to start. It's so overwhelming.
I don't know.
It's just that good.
My favorite part of the trailer was that city that they showed, like the one that looked like a little marketplace.
Fenway Park. What is it? Fenway Park?
No, that was not. I don't think that was Fenway Park.
I'm not sure what that area was.
All you Boston people don't kill us, but we don't know Boston like the back of our hands.
But that was my favorite part because it just
looked
looked
was
like
a
Commonwealth.
I mean, was that part of the Commonwealth? I don't.
Yeah, Commonwealth is Boston, basically.
There's a couple scenes where it gets real dense, and I think that's what Max is talking about, where it looks like there's a whole lot more environmental density than we're used to in Fallout games.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff looked very different. Like, it wasn't just like all wasteland. Like, sure, it's still a wasteland, but like there was some very cool looking things. Like the enemies looked
the same.
Not bad.
They're exactly the same. There's exactly the same mutants and stuff.
There'll be new enemies though, and I think these were coming in larger numbers as well. I don't think did we see like that number of mutants coming at you in Fallout?
Those ghouls. There was a lot of ghouls.
But I'm wondering, does that then change the gameplay mechanic? Because based on what like I remember from Fallout 3, you can't like just rattle off on them like that. So you would have. Really?
If you have the ammo, if you have the ammo, you can.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, because you don't have to do the thing. Where
you don't have to do that. You can just aim and just
I forgot.
Shoot them.
You're right.
If the game does bring in better shooting controls, that's probably my number one request. Just that you're able to handle things from that third-person perspective or first-person perspective.
I've got a feeling it won't be much better, to be honest. I feel it's going to be like an improvement, but not a massive step forward in terms of...
Why?
Yeah, well, because I do think that if you're expecting, like, Call of Duty shooting, it's not going to happen. You're going to be disappointed. Because remember, there are limitations by the fact that they do both third and first person. So, like, they have to make it work in both ways, and it has to feel the same.
We don't know. This could be totally first person. There's no...
No, wait, they showed third person.
None of that is in-game footage, though. I mean, maybe it's in-game
engine. It's in-game footage, but it's not...
It's in-engine, but it's not in-game.
I think it'd be very weird if they didn't have third person.
Those character models, I don't know that you want to see them in third person.
No, that's why they look like that, I think. Because you have to, because you're able to see them in third person. And let's get this out of the way, I guess, just because, Zach, you keep, kind of touching on it, right? The game doesn't look great, right? No. And anybody that tries to argue that, this looks amazing, sure, you're entitled to your opinion, but I see you're fooling yourself a little bit.
That's a losing battle.
Yeah, this game doesn't, look... beautiful.
Yeah,
really.
That's not
it's
the
merits.
It's
not Witcher, for example. It's just a Fallout. It feels like a step forward in terms of Fallout.
Yeah.
But it's not the 5 steps I was hoping for. It feels like a step in the right direction. For me, it's not a major factor. I'm still looking forward to it. I mean, it's dented it a little bit in terms of enthusiasm for the game, but generally, I'm still pumped and excited for this game.
Yeah, I don't care how the game looks.
No.
Really. But, there's been an uproar about it. People want this game to look better. But... the character design, the animations, clunky animations, the character models don't look great. They're not going to. People have plastic hair, people have dead eyes, people move very stiffly. That's going to be how it is. And if you're expecting anything else, you're going to be disappointed, really.
Why is that going to be how it is?
Because you just saw it. That's how it is.
At least they didn't try to blow you away with some CG trailer and say, oh, it's going to look like this. And that definitely was an in-engine thing. I mean, if that's their CG and in-engine looks worse, then God help us. But I'm guessing that's all in-engine.
There was real gameplay in there.
There's not real gameplay in there.
Yes,
there's no gameplay in there.
It means gameplay means the hard and shooting something. In-game, it means it's... we sort of within the game well.
Yes, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
They just took the HUDs off. They can do that.
I don't think it's the perspective of the character in any of those shots.
I think it is.
Maybe just where those zombies, that brief 2 seconds where they're coming at you like that. Maybe, I could see that being the first person and they just removed HUD and gun or something.
Yeah, some of that really just did look like real gameplay.
What's interesting is there was a Reddit leak about 11 months ago from a supposed disgruntled Bethesda employee who just...
That was an amazing... The way he wrote that was so amazing.
I think it was actually a woman who got fired and...
Oh, it was a
woman? Apparently posted this.
Yeah, because she said that she accidentally, said something she shouldn't have had, which makes no sense.
Right, and it gave, a timeline that is very... kind of coming to fruition. It talked about being unveiled now and talked about more at E3 and then release in October, first DLC pack in November. It leads all the way up to another game being announced next E3, a spin-off to release next October, a bunch of DLC packs, and some of the interesting tidbits there that aren't confirmed but we can kind of maybe speculate on. They talk about Boston, which we know, and they talked about a more narrative-driven game where the main character will be voiced and won't have the customization that you've come to expect from Bethesda games. Does that bother any of you at all, the character stuff, or do you like it going a little bit more linear in that sense?
It's not more linear. It's just more story based.
Well that would make your story more linear.
Well, no, linear.
I can't be a crazy old bald lady.
Yeah, that doesn't mean
explore, can't you?
It's not linear. You can do whatever you want. Linear means that you're on a straight path.
The story would be more linear if it's forcing you into a character.
But Fallout 3 was linear then, because you're still the same story for everyone.
No, these games aren't linear just because you're forced to do this.
The game
one
isn't
story.
linear. Okay, whatever. The game isn't linear, but by forcing you into a character, it's inherently more. Anyways, does that bother you?
No.
I mean,
I think
are they saying we can't create our own character, or are they saying we're stuck with like one standard character? The guy with the black hair that's got it like stuck to his face. Is that the guy we've got to be in the game, or? I don't understand.
I'm guessing you're going to be the guy that they showed at the very end there, no? Like,
so there's no custom. You don't get to make a character?
The dog runs up to.
That's what they're trying. That's what she's saying. She's saying you can't customize, but
I doubt that they don't. I doubt that they don't let you customize. Like, I'm sure you could like customize like aesthetically what you look like, but I think you're like, from what I understand, you will have one personality and kind of one.
Yeah, I don't care. Even if they don't let me customize it, like I'm not the person that sits there for hours with the customization menu trying to get it to look exactly the way. I don't know. I just hit random and that'll be that.
Yeah. For me, I would say it's important because, like I've said it before, like I've never been like incentivized to play that game. Like I'm not that interested in the Fallout world. Which here comes the hate, but I'm okay with that. Basically, like if I have narrative that could like make me interested, that sounds great to me. Because there's components like, for example, what I got more so excited by was when they showed some of those scenes of the city like being like what Zach said, dense and stuff. I like that because then that makes me intrigued about the world. And since I don't particularly care for the mechanics or at this point the narrative, it's good that at least I could be intrigued by the world and kind of incentivized to continue my adventure by just exploring the world. So if now I could also have a good narrative along with that, that's great.
And I think like the aspect of, clearly, you know, there is in-engine footage of pre-apocalypse and post-apocalypse, whether they do that in flashback sequences or an intro to the game. I think that would be really a cool way to set the stage of like, here is everything before it got bad, and now here is everything after. And it did look a little bit like, you know, again, I don't know Boston perfectly, but it did look like they kind of had some buildings and structures that were post bomb drop structures. Like not everything was just like, oh, here's a, you know, a rubble filled building from before, but maybe they will, you know, use some of that Xbox One, PS4, PC power, because this is next gen only as of now, for size and scope. There's a scene with a bridge, an overpass, and the height of that bridge and overpass to me was massively incredible. Either you're super really short or the bridge is giant.
About the lighting as well. The lighting in this game is like a lot better than the last game. The lighting,
the lighting did look good.
For that bridge, it was like, whoa, that's pretty impressive in terms of like.
Also, I don't know. I'm sorry I cut you off, but also I don't know how many people care, but there's weather in the game now. Woo.
Yay. Rain.
Yeah, rain.
Acid rain on my face.
Yeah. Radiation rain. That's going to be fun.
Have they ever done, like, where they do, like, both post-apocalyptic and prior? Like, kind of doing, like, the flashback?
I reckon this will be more of, like, a sort of prologue, sort of introduction. A lot of people are speculating that baby is actually you as the hero.
Okay.
Well,
so
I mean, they did that on the last one, though. You do start off as a baby, and
that
then
is true. But apparently, 112 is known for putting like people to sleep or freezing them or something. So perhaps the parents sacrificed themselves to perhaps dump you in the vault. The dog may still be the family dog. I don't know. It's just
dog meat.
In that leak, there was also a plot point that you do wake up from cryo sleep, and that's how the game begins.
Yeah.
So there's credence there. I mean, we don't have a whole lot to go on. We'll get it June 14th when Bethesda has their full showcase. One thing that we were talking about pre-podcast that's interesting is just like how these companies choose to, like, hey, we're going to blow our load now as opposed to save it, and like what the idea must be, or the thought process of like, we want to build hype versus surprise. I just think that's kind of an interesting, those meetings must just be crazy with like half the people wanting to be like, no, save everything, and half the people being like, let's get the train rolling right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this has to mean that now there's like, I mean, a 20-plus minute demo, right? Like, because they're having a press conference for a reason.
Yeah.
And if it's not a big Fallout reveal that we just got, like, they have to show a big chunk of it, right?
Yeah, I think Todd Howard's going to come out and he's going to show, like, 30 minutes of just pure gameplay. That's what I think. Well, not 30, like 20 minutes or something.
And I think something about this game is going to be dramatically different. Like, I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it's just maybe it's just that there's more emphasis on story this time.
Because I think it might be slightly faster pace as well, in terms of like the VATS will be more like bang, 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 or they've got more enemies coming at you, and the scope of the world is just more massive as well. Like,
I have a feeling like there's gonna be something that they're gonna need to devote that time to, because they're just gonna do a quest. Like, I don't know if they do that, but I think maybe Todd Howard comes out and says like, hey, these are all the changes we're doing, and you devote 20-30 minutes to it, and that takes a good chunk out of it, because. Honestly, I expected the reveal to happen at E3. It's surprising that it happened this early.
It still does make sense though. They're trying to give the game like air to sort of breathe, and like, nothing else got announced that day pretty much, and it's just to try and give
it could be an element of like where like they thought to themselves also, maybe they heard something where like a trailer leaked or something and they were terrified. They're like, okay, listen, whatever, let's just do it ourselves so we control it, right? Like we don't know what happened on the back end, right? Because right around this time is when stuff starts to leak, right? So maybe they did hear rumors of like, hey, your trailer might have leaked by mistake or something. They're like, okay, whatever, let's just do the reveal and then we'll do the gameplay thing at E3.
I think the only thing that takes away from that is that there was like a their website, there was a lead up to this, like there was a countdown timer and everything. I don't think this was put out in any like
wasn't urgent it a 1 day lead up though, like
24 hours.
Okay.
Like what, if your trailer leaked?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying because like maybe that's the reason why, because again, like what you said, like I'm kind of surprised as to why they did this, because if their press conference is like an hour, which is probably what we're expecting it to be, and they have 3 games that we can kind of predict that they're going to talk about, now they really do have to do like 20 to 30 minutes on Fallout 4, because otherwise it's just going to be kind of like this awkward thing where they're like, we're doing Fallout, guys. Yes, it is true. That trailer was made by us. Indeed. Let's play it again.
Like, they will show more than 3 games.
Just play the Fallout 4 trailer over and over again for an hour. Like, you guys want it? You guys want it? You guys want it?
They're like, you get a copy, you get a copy, you get a copy.
I bet, honestly, like, I wouldn't doubt if this lead-up is just a pre-order stirring of the pot. You know, right? Pre-orders are available. You get that going, so then you go into E3, and you just start, you know, the dominoes just continue to fall, and you build your pre-orders. They've already got the box art out there, and, yeah, I think the show will be interesting. At this point, it's like, if they say, oh, coming 2016, I feel like that's going to be a huge disappointment, right?
Yeah, pre-orders are open. They've been open since yesterday.
Right,
Steam, it's second place in top sellers, so that's how it's doing.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we do kind of forget sometimes that E3 is a business event, and they meet with like GameStop and like actual retailers. So if they show up and they're like, hey guys, look at how many pre-orders we got already, give us more shelf space. That's true. We didn't even consider that. So
gotta get all those marquees for General Joe at Walmart. Like,
sell us another bobblehead.
Listen, that stuff makes a huge difference financially.
People pointed out that there were both bobbleheads and magazines in this game, like a combination of the upgrade system.
And the perks of the background as well.
Yeah.
The little card things.
So hopefully there's a lot to do with the character. I mean, obviously, like, people are assuming it's going to be amazing and probably will be, but I'm excited to see, like, actual give us the goods and...
Yeah. I don't know. I think that generally speaking, it's going to be a game that seems to do a lot of tiny things. Like, they fixed a lot of tiny things. I don't know if they're going to do like something drastically different, but the thing I'm most excited for about this game is just the passion of the like this fan group, because it's just insane. Like what you just said, like, how did people notice that stuff? Like the magazines and the newspapers. Like, there's very few games that people sit there like nitpick them to that extent, and I don't know, it's just cool to see people that are that passionate about something. So it's pretty neat.
Scott did it. He has a whole video on it.
I've done like 4 videos on the game.
Yeah. You see?
Go check out Scott's channel.
Like, I don't know. I like that. There's something cool about that. Like when you see people that passionate.
There's so much like lore in the game as well, like backgrounds and what Vault does, what happened in this area, when it happened, and people trying to work out when this Fallout 4 took place. People saying it took place after Fallout 3 and stuff. It's just lots of rumors and it's interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Moving from the big one to another potential big one, Dark Souls 3 is rumored to be announced E3, which I think is super strange. Like, Bloodborne just comes out, and the thought is that this will be shown at the Sony conference to fill one of their gaps. Are we?
So it's going to be not just it's not going to be exclusive. It's going to
be just shown. But are we getting to a point where, like, now, even though it's only From Software making it, like, is Dark Souls reaching a saturation point of, like, do we need?
I think it's reached it after Bloodborne for me. It's just the same mechanics, the same frustration. I'm not really good with sort of dealing with frustration and sort of half bits of games. I just get angry very quickly. So this is starting to get a little bit old for me, I think. But
I would be interested to play this because Bloodborne was easy to me. I had never played the either Souls or Demons. No, not even that. But the game was like a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be, right? Because I hear about Dark Souls, I hear about Demon Souls being like absolutely brutal, and yeah, the game's tough, but It's really not as tough as people make it out to be. So, and they're saying, oh no, Dark Souls is harder, so I want to play it, and I don't want to play Dark Souls 2. So, I still don't even think it happens, honestly. I think it's just one of those fake rumors that we're getting.
It feels too soon, doesn't it, after Bloodborne?
Yeah,
Bloodborne literally just came out, so...
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, from my perspective, which is just some regular dude. I don't think they do it, but what do I know?
You're very special, Gabe.
We said that right off the bat, Gabe. You're one of the most special people.
Captain Ketchup, after all.
In the whole of Texas.
Yeah, and Texas is a big state, so
yeah.
that has some.
We are the biggest in the continental U.S.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I think Bloodborne is like, to me, the Bloodborne is like the best version of that type of game, in my opinion. Like, I think that they nailed practically everything that they needed to nail with Bloodborne. We know for a fact that there's DLC coming for Bloodborne. Like, that's been confirmed already. So, personally, I'm not even incentivized to even try out Dark Souls. And I think that this, like what you said about saturation, it is a case of, like, getting too much of a good thing is slowly but surely going to be bad. Because, like, there's a reason why these games have the hype they do. Like, for example, it's the same thing like what you said with Fallout. Like, if we were getting Fallout every year, it would not be this special. Like, you know, it's the kind of game that you get like once or twice every decade. And that's what creates, like, that's half of the appeal, is that finally there's another one. And now it's like this kind of game has become kind of commonplace. Like, you know, like we got this year
Assassin's Creed,
Bloodborne and Dark Souls 2 Ultimate Die Edition, or whatever it was called. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit too early, and I would prefer for them to go back and try to do something significantly different, because I think that's this franchise is kind of open to that. Like, hey, give us something that will change the mechanics or something interesting. So I think they need to sit on that one for at least another 12 months and maybe announce it next year.
Just keep sitting on it until it gets...
No, make it better. Don't just like make it and put it over. We'll announce it next year, guys. That's not a good idea.
Other thing that was like not leaked but revealed pre-E3 was the Battleborn sort of blowout today, and there's more coming soon. But that game, I think, forgive me for saying it reminds me of Evolve, that there's like an interesting setup there. It's a first-person shooter that borrows a lot of MOBA elements. So you're looking at a bunch of cooperative... Oh, man, playing that support class. There is interesting...
I don't even know what that... All right.
Max held up a nice logo from Evolve.
I didn't see it.
There's a lot of MOBA elements, so it's a cooperative and competitive shooter, a bunch of different modes, 25 characters that are all very unique in their skill sets, while still maintaining a campaign, although it does look to be very multiplayer focused. This comes from Gearbox, sort of their new project post Borderlands, at least for now. So
it's made by the same guys that made Borderlands.
Gearbox, yes, yeah.
Okay.
And
I don't know what's the exact. It's a different team, I think, though, because Borderlands.
It says on the thing.
It is also the same people that made Aliens: Colonial Marines, though. So
okay, fair enough.
Take that with a grain of salt.
They just took it over.
They have a spotless track record. What are you talking about? Duke Nukem? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't even make that. Come on.
But the styling here, I think, looks super sweet. The last time we saw this game, there wasn't a lot of footage. It was shown last E3, and like the new level of polish and kind of HD-ifyingness of that cel-shaded look, I think it just looks super awesome. If you haven't seen the trailer, you definitely should check it out. It's pretty evocative of like what I hope is a fun game. I'll be playing at E3, but I think it's one to watch out for. It's coming this year because it is offering something totally different. New IP, new style of gameplay. One of the modes is like, they have a base, you have a base, you're pushing minions, but it's still a first-person shooter with skills. And to me, the coolest part is that you're leveling up your character within the match from level 1 to 10. So you'll be acquiring new skills throughout each level or match. Plus, there is a persistent leveling up happening sort of meta that gives you more perks and boosts, apparently. But
so it's Evolve.
I mean,
it sounded just like it.
I love it already.
Yeah, but it sounds like a Evolve that doesn't lack content, because it sounds like there's a lot more characters right away. So
yeah, 25 of them, which can be an overbearing number. I don't know. All 25.
Well, look, if they make them all different, that'll be important. Because you see, the thing is, I know that it sounds weird, like when you say this many characters, but I feel like when you're doing a MOBA, you can literally have characters that are just a tiny little bit tweaked, and they can be different just by a couple of balance points here, a couple balance points there, and it can make a substantially big difference because those things are driven by competitive play. So therefore, combinations of a certain team of like characters is going to be a lot more favorable to win than a combination of another team of characters. So I almost feel like in this style of game, it is good to have this many characters to choose from, so you can kind of pick and choose what is the best class for the task at hand. So I think it's I don't see it being a problem for this.
They've shown
it's
off
not
like
a fighting game.
A lot of variety. One of the characters has just like a traditional giant chain gun, and then there's another guy who's a mushroom man firing different projectiles, a girl with a bow and arrow, you've got a magic girl shooting off projectile, like very unique characters. And they brought in a lot of, I think, what made Borderlands special in terms of like their aesthetic charm. That game has a very unique look to it, and whether you like kind of the over-the-top gore and language and whatnot, that's fine, but it's hard to deny like Borderlands is a very vibrant game. And it seems like they brought that to their character design here, so that should be a cool one. XCOM 2, we touched on it last week, but now it's like official. Any love for that?
I think Zach was probably just upset because it wasn't Bioshock.
Yeah.
I think that's why you're not gonna like it, just because it's not Bioshock.
I like XCOM, and I'm sort of glad it's PC only. That way they don't have to...
It makes sense, doesn't it, in terms of the way the game functions. PC does make sense, but...
Yeah. I don't think the game needs to come to console.
It may eventually come to console, maybe, if it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm sure it will, but... I don't know. Seems cool.
We haven't really seen it in action, have we? I think I'm seeing it at E3, I think, but...
Yeah. They didn't show too much.
I don't know. I think it's a good, like, kind of perfect thing of, like, that game category that we say is disappearing, of kind of that medium level.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a perfect fit in there where it's a solid game. It usually is highly rated, and to the people that like that kind of style of game, they always knock it out of the park. So why not? Sounds good to me.
Yeah, Zachary.
Bring us Bioshock back. Give it to me. I mean, they still could.
What if they just called it Bioshock instead of XCOM 2? They just like
it's just like a turn-based strategy.
Bioshock 2, but it's a turn-based.
Well, all right, Zach. What about this? Would you want a turn-based strategy game set in Colombia, where like part of the environment you're doing the grappling? So you just don't like turn-based strategy?
No, I just want to explore a new Bioshock world. I don't want to do it based on an isometric over the head, move my guy around and put him into Overwatch. Like, come on.
Just go back to Rapture again. I want to go back to Rapture.
But all the cutscenes. I don't want to go back to Rapture. Give me a new city.
Rapture's awesome.
Give me a new city.
Give me that.
Infinite was terrible.
Yeah, do that city that you did for XCOM. What?
Infinite's terrible?
I didn't. I took that back very quickly.
Okay, good.
I said Infinite wasn't as good as Rapture, I think. But.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Me too.
Yeah.
So take us to space where infinite possibilities exist.
No, stop talking about Infinite.
We need aliens. I want plasmid infused aliens.
I want a Bioshock remake.
Here you got XCOM. There's aliens in this.
Don't ask for remakes. You're gonna get plenty of them.
Dude,
there's no need to.
Yeah, that's actually something that may happen.
Dude, how surprised would you be if there was a Bioshock Infinite remake? It's probably
a Bioshock collection. We're just gonna get like Mass Effect collection, Bioshock collection, Uncharted collection.
Isn't Fallout coming? Like the Fallout collection?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think that would be a massive
My
undertaking.
PC version doesn't work, so I want my PC version of Fallout to work.
What if
it doesn't work on my computer?
What if that's what they show at E3?
Right.
They're like, guys, let's play the Fallout 4 trailer again. Okay, you guys like that still? Awesome. Yep. Keep pre-ordering it, by the way. Amazon.com/ he gives you the full URL.
Right.
He's like, there you go, pre-order it. Thanks, guys. Ding. And then he's like, and check this out. And then it's the same trailer but remade in like Fallout 1 through 3, and they're like, HD, guys, pre-order that as well.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Todd Howard properties are a big thing right
Howard
now.
Hod.
Deus Ex is coming.
Todd Howard.
Todd Howard and Todd Howard.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, I'm very tired, by the way. I woke up extra early to start this podcast early for Scott, first of all, and then just to put him on.
Anyway, so.
That's just to put Max on
Scott,
blast.
you really should convince your country to recalibrate their time to our time zone.
Like,
annoying, isn't it? Who cares about your time zone? All you need to do.
I'm coming to LA soon, so that.
All you got to do is like when we wake up, you should wake up. When we go to sleep, America defines everything.
Speaking of waking up, again, I want to call Max out.
Oh, here we go.
He didn't wake up. He didn't wake up in time.
Yes. And
oh man, no, that was basically
that was it.
That's it. That's your roast of Max for waking up late.
No, No, I like Max too much to be like mean, actually. But yeah, he woke up late. I woke up extra early to be here.
I said sorry. You can continue. You guys were like, no, we're restarting the whole thing. Like,
nah, we were supposed to start like an hour ago. Before that,
well, you started 6 minutes, so there you go.
I wanted to make sure that I had someone who wasn't completely gaga for Fallout to.
I don't think any of us proved to be as gaga for it as you thought we might be. Because we're excited for it, but
nobody knows what it is. It could be isometric turn based.
What do you mean nobody knows what it is? We know exactly.
It could be
what
turn
it
based.
Is.
It could be made by Telltale.
It could be turn based. We've seen the gameplay.
It's a narrative point and click.
Here's another one of my infamous bets. If Fallout is turn based or made by Telltale, I will eat ketchup.
Wait, wasn't there something like if the new Elder Scrolls is revealed,
Elder Scrolls, yeah,
right?
and it's not.
You eat ketchup.
Yeah, it's not.
That could happen.
Again, Elder Scrolls remasters do not count. It has to be Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, now there's like little asterisks next.
No,
to them.
there's always been a caveat to it. There's always been a caveat to it. I said there will be no new Elder Scrolls, and there won't be.
There's always got to be caviar to it.
What about Elder Scrolls Online coming new for the next gen consoles?
On the 9th of June.
Yeah. Who wants a code?
Has anyone played any games?
Have you got a code?
Has anyone played any games this week?
Yes, but no one cares about what I
played. Yoshi's Woolly.
Wow, he can't even pronounce the name.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
It's a weird name.
Scott, you're gonna get crucified by Zach for that.
Can you, first of all, can you talk about it?
Yeah, we can do a preview of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is not a review. This is a preview.
Yes. How is it? Preview me. What you think?
It's got worse graphics than Fallout.
Hey Scott, have you ever seen Riddick? The Riddick movies or games?
Yeah.
Vin Diesel? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know when they replace his eyeballs because they suck and don't know what they're seeing? That's what we're gonna do to you in LA. We're changing your eyeballs now. Yoshi's Woolly World is possibly the best looking Wii U game. It is.
Scott, you don't want to meet up with
Scott.
him.
Don't fall asleep around.
Gorgeous,
Scott.
Gorgeous. I'm seriously sitting there.
Next thing you'll be saying is crisp as well. It's nice and crisp.
Hearts are coming out of my body when I play this game. Okay, it's visible. I'm like Princess Peach in Super Mario Strikers Charge, where the hearts are just like visibly coming out. Okay, and the reason I love this game so far is because it is a game that has.
It is a game.
You're playing
period.
it.
What?
So you're playing it?
Involves wool. I like wool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Dude, new Nintendo game's out. I'm going to hunt it down. I dug my way to China. I snuck into the UK. I stole a copy, and I'm back.
You've nicked a code from the UK.
Seems to be a little bit inefficient to go to the UK through China, but
yeah, I don't know why.
Maybe I learned different geography than you did.
Hey,
okay.
Look. There's Pangea. There's Antarctica. There's Texas. There's Australia. There's Euro China.
That's exactly how
there's
the world
is. Middle Asia and Russia.
Okay.
Middle Asia.
Cool. But no, Yoshi's Woolly World, man. This is a game that at E3 last year I thought sucked a big one. Like, it was boring as hell.
We played co-op, didn't we?
Yeah, and there were two girls in front of us playing, and what is your convention conduct? How long do you stay at a demo before you let the next person go?
10, 15 minutes.
If the person at the station is oh god, play the game, and not really moving you along, how long?
That's what the person was like from Nintendo. Oh god, please play the game.
How long do you stand there for? Because these two lovely ladies in front of us legit were making Yoshi their day, and I didn't. I was just like,
all right. So throw a realistic number out there. How long were you standing?
It felt like
half an hour.
Yeah, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, seems long, right?
I don't know.
It's very long.
I'm not as well versed with.
Was there a level or anything?
Well, because here's what I've seen at E3 or PAX. There's two modes of operation, or three actually. Mode 1 is I die, I step back because I'm shamed, right? Mm-hmm. Mode 2 is I beat the demo and I'm done. And then there's the third mode, which is just I'm going to play until I'm done, no matter if I die a bunch of times or whatever. And I don't know what. If someone was in front of me and they died in 3 minutes, I'd be like, take it again, no worries. But the people who are hold up, we're going to find every little bit in this demo, and I don't know. Anyhow, Yoshi, what's cool about this game, it's definitely one of their B-tier games, right? It's not trying to be like a Mario or Zelda mainline, but it has very nailed down mechanics. Therefore, the levels themselves are maybe not the most challenging or interesting, but the collectibles and the secrets and the way that then you have to use your skill set to find all that stuff, that is to me where the game kind of shines. And it's very similar to Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, which did something similar. If you want to just go point A to point B, like that's not going to be that big of a deal. But if you want to find all the extras and kind of use those as almost like those green stars in Mario, the recent Mario games, then to me it has a pretty charming and really solid platforming feel to it.
I have a question. Can I control this with the D-pad, or do I have to use a stupid stylus?
No. You're totally. This is on screen, off screen. It's totally normal. It's a platformer, and
so it's a platformer. I'm not.
You can use the Pro Controller, the gamepad. Yeah, you're all good. No,
I thought it was some weird stuff again.
No,
spot
on. And it's got just like a very committed charm. So like when Yoshi jumps and does his like flutter, his feet spin into a propeller with yarn. When he runs, they turn into wheels with yarn. I turned into an umbrella last night. I was like,
oh, that was cool. I like that bit. He's got
Game of the Year.
A timed umbrella section. I mean, there is more challenge than I expected, and I'm only still in World 1, but they've got like some clever charm, right? There's 5 different bundles of yarn you can find in each level. If you find all 5, you unlock a new Yoshi. So then on the world map, because you're walking around the world map like 3D World, you'll have another Yoshi you can go and high five and switch to. So like some of them are like flower skinned or themed, different themes or whatever. Which is kind of, I mean, it's just,
I mean, to me,
Nintendo.
Though, the thing is that sounds weird though. Is like you said that this is a B tier level game, but it sounds every bit like as polished as a Mario game. So I just wonder like why is it that like when it's a Mario game that's considered to be like
my feel is just that it's side scrolling. That's why.
Yeah, but didn't like we got a pretty recent Mario that was side scrolling.
Yeah, New Super Mario Bros. That's B tier. Too. That's B tier.
I feel like their A tier is like the 3D Mario, the 3D Zelda.
All right.
Whereas like Tropical Freeze, Yoshi, Kirby are more like, hey, these are our like fill in the gaps. But the interesting thing about this is it comes out June 26th in Europe, and an unannounced fall date for the US. Which, like, what is the meaning behind that?
Because we're used to like doing like what's it?
Crocheting.
What would you call it?
You're so used to it, you just don't even know the word anymore.
It's a big marketplace for wool.
I want to hear what Scott thinks about the game because he said it's ugly, but
I didn't mean it's ugly. I'm just saying it doesn't look like what Zach says. Every Wii U game is crisp. It doesn't look crisp. It looks very jaggedy, and it just doesn't look like a next gen game for me.
Well,
it's not really supposed to be a next gen game, is it? The Wii U's like a separation between the 360 and the next gen. It's a bit.
It's a stopgap.
Yeah.
You like it though?
I like it. It's a solid game. It's fun. It's got like a really good charm to it. Like Zach said, it feels fun. It's colourful. The mechanics feel fine. I love the fact you can shoot your weird yarn ball things. That's really cool. And they're all different colours as well. So whatever you pick up. So say you want to make a platform, the platform will be the same colour as the yarn that you sort of spit out. And I like that. It's a solid game for sure, but it's not what I'm going to say.
It's
like,
beautiful.
Go and buy a Wii U for.
Look at this. It's crisp.
I mean,
the thing is, it's like I don't know what the evaluation of like, hey, let's talk about the graphics, but it's like Fallout is supposed to look like somewhat realistic. Like that's what they're going for. So when it doesn't look realistic, that's a problem because that's your art style is realistic. But Yoshi has an art style that is like it's stylized to be wool and everything. So. Mm-hmm. Like, is the issue that it doesn't look realistic, so that's why the graphics are bad? Or is the graphics genuinely unpolished or uncrisp? Because...
Well, no, I think he's saying that he can, like, see pixels and stuff. Like,
it's just not as sharp as perhaps you want from
that's a fair criticism.
It's like you can call it like is it a cartoon game? I don't know. You want an animated game. It's not as, like... I'd want that sort of game to be, like, spot on. I understand the comparison between Fallout. Fallout is a massive open world game. It's completely different, so... I get your point.
To me, I don't see it. Honestly, and we can just have a different opinion, that's fine. But when I play it, I feel like it looks polished. And, like, I guess for me, I don't mind stylistic differences. Like, if you want to be 50s, great. But, like, I look at a game like Infamous Second Son, and when I see that game, it is very smooth and has a certain level of cohesion that makes me feel like it is a next-gen game. And when I look at Fallout, it doesn't. And, like, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But that's not a stylistic thing. That is a straight up fidelity technical thing, and that was my issue with the Fallout 4 trailer.
What's the Wii U game you're playing now? What is that? Where does that come into the frame? What is that, next gen game? Is that
this? No, it's going for a totally different style, but I feel like it nails its style. Like, look very good for the style you're going for, technically, right? Like that.
So it nails the style. It doesn't nail crisp graphics. It nails the style. We're talking about.
No, I'm saying I think that Yoshi has very crisp wool graphics.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just saying, like, basically, like, look, it's like, we look at stuff like, even, let's say, Infamous Second Son, right? Like, it also goes for the idea of, like, this is a realistic city, and these people look like people do in real life.
And it achieves it. Like.
Yeah, it does. But let's say, if we look at that game 10 years from now, hopefully we will say that looks awful, because realistic looking is going to be a lot more well done at that point. Whereas if we take a look at something like Zelda Wind Waker, it looked good when it came out, it looks good now, and it will look good for the next 50 years because it did an art style that they nailed, and they did that well. Whereas with Fallout right now, since it's going for the realistic thing, it didn't particularly push the envelope. Like, you can't say that Fallout 4 looks better graphically than many other games that do the same art style.
Like Witcher or something.
Yeah, well, Witcher's a little different because it's medieval. Like, games that do the idea of, like, a realistic, like, post-apocalyptic type city, like, where it's humans, you know?
I think that Last of Us on PS3 looks better than Fallout 4. At least what we've seen so far.
No one's going to argue against that.
I don't think there's many other games that do look better, though, than Last of Us.
Last of Us looks
But, like, you're talking about Boston, you're talking about post-apocalyptic, you're talking about realistic.
Yeah,
like,
sure. That's a fair comparison, I guess. Yep.
But also, The Last of Us, that you want to talk about linear, that's very linear for the most part, and
which confined areas for that game.
Yeah, confined areas. You know, you're on the set level, like different games, different strokes,
sure.
different folks.
And just to, like, be totally clear, because I know comments or whatever, but, like, I am not really saying, like, oh, graphics over everything. I'm just saying that I think it would be nice to see graphics and gameplay merge, and I think we should push for that. And if you don't criticize things, then where does improvement come from? If it's just like, oh, this is great, accept it, pre-order, like, me saying that I don't think it looks visually great is nothing to do with that the game will probably be awesome, that I'll probably enjoy it, that plenty of people will probably love it. It's not a criticism of Fallout. It's just a straight up, like, visually it's not where I'd like it to be, and I don't know that anyone could say it's where they like it to be. So to say, like, oh, it gets a pass because it's Fallout or it's doing all this extra stuff, okay, but then at what point do you say, like, I would like it to be better, you know? Like,
yeah. I mean, look, we talked about that there's, like, we talked about it off the podcast, like, there's game darlings, right? Like, I've said it before, like, with Witcher, I don't understand why that game gets a pass on so many things compared to, like, where Ubisoft, or specifically Ubisoft with Watch Dogs and Unity, where that game and Ubisoft as a company get just absolutely decimated and destroyed on the internet, whereas The Witcher, everybody's like, look, there's game errors that come up every week that don't allow you to even launch the game or play the game, or ruins your save files. But
But
what's the big deal,
guys?
To
be fair, all that gets fixed so quickly.
No, it doesn't. That error still is available.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. The error that came out yesterday?
Nah, I can play. Yesterday I couldn't play. I can play now.
Okay, but there's still people that can't play. I saw it.
Is there?
Watch Dogs had, like, a ton of issues on
Yeah,
release.
Xbox One was like corrupt save files, glitching.
Yeah, which, to be fair, I never experienced. Yesterday I couldn't play for a few hours, but then last night I was able to play again, and I can play
you see, this is what I'm trying to say, though. Is like, even here, like, right away, there's this, like, defense mechanism. It's like, either let's...
I'm not being defensive. I'm just saying none of it happened to me.
I know, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't an issue. Oh, right? Sure. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that I feel like we're unfair in that regard. It's either like, let's criticize all of them fairly. Like, when they mess up, we say, hey, guys, this wasn't right. You can't do that. But for us, it seems like we almost do this thing where it's like, if it's kind of like a video game darling, it's the same thing if, like, I imagine if Naughty Dog came out and did something, I'm sure that maybe even I would be biased in that regard as well, where I'd just say, oh, it's Naughty Dog, you know, it's okay. They're allowed to make a mistake every now and then. But that's not a fair thing, because, like, look, if we're criticizing Ubisoft for doing this type of stuff, why does CD Projekt Red get...
Yeah, I don't think I have a bias towards them, because I had never played a Witcher game before, really. So I don't have a bias towards them. My bias is towards my experience.
I think the good perspective to put it in is, say Assassin's Creed Syndicate trailer came out and it had the graphics of Fallout 4, people would be like, "What the freaking hell?" Right? They wouldn't say it's an Assassin's Creed game, right? Like,
yeah. But also very different.
Doesn't that shouldn't matter though? Like, I don't see how that gives them a pass. First of all, you don't know that currently. Second of all, why would you not?
Yes,
you don't.
Yes,
you don't.
We know what Fallout.
You have no idea the size and scope of that world.
Yeah, but I can't. To be honest, that is not a terrible comparison because Assassin's Creed are pretty big games as well.
Yeah, but you can't go in any of those buildings, first of all. Those buildings are basically just like set dressing. Like, you can't do anything with them. In Fallout, if you see a building, you can go inside of it. There's things inside of it. There's
typically through a loading screen, though, which isn't... I mean, Assassin's Creed Unity, you could walk into buildings and explore them without having to load in. Fallout 3 is all separate instance locations. There's no buildings that you're walking in.
No, you can walk into some buildings of Fallout 3.
That are like shanty shack open things. No buildings with doors are you going in, really. Right?
Yeah. You can pick locked doors.
Yeah, but aren't most of them, though, loading you into the building?
If you walk into Rivet City, you have to load, or Megaton, but not the smaller out exploring tank.
But what about when you're like in DC and you walk into a monument? You're loading into that.
Not always, no. Some you do, some you don't.
Okay.
Like the bigger ones, like yes, you got to load into them because there's a big environment. And
yeah, but I think that the point here is, like, again, like what Zach said, is not about the hate or like us disliking that element. I just think that, like, even right now you're proving that same point where you're saying, well, yeah, some of them yes, but some of them no.
No, that's a fact.
No, I know, but what
he's saying, because he said
no, but let's say even if it was some of them yes, some of them no, I feel like if a Ubisoft game comes out or an EA game comes out and does that, we would like just absolutely yeah, but sometimes you have to wait for like 20 seconds. Okay. But with Fallout, we're like accepting. It's like, yeah, sometimes you have to do it. What's the big deal?
Know where it comes from, though, right? They've earned that. Ubisoft has earned that reaction from us. Okay, they have, and if you deny that,
I just don't think that still is justification for saying for
no.
You can love the game and still say like these graphics don't look that good. That does not take away from the quality or the love of the game. But like,
and I wish more people would do that, but they won't. Yeah. No, but to the point about Ubisoft, right? They've earned that reaction from people. So has EA many times. CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, but you see,
they have a great reputation.
Yeah, but the issue there is that CD Projekt Red makes one game for every 4 years, and Ubisoft makes how many?
Because they want to focus on one game, and they're not like a massive studio. Ubisoft just churns out the same game.
Yeah,
Syndicate is exactly the same as Unity in terms of graphics.
Over 1,000 people work on Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but when you review a game, you don't care if there's one person or 1,000 people. That does not factor in.
No, okay, but I want to... Max, do you know how many people worked on The Witcher? If not, take a guess.
150, 200?
Yeah, wow, exactly, 200. 200 people worked on The Witcher.
Yeah, but that's...
No, it has nothing to do with
but you could say 1,000 people worked on Assassin's Creed. Yeah, but those 1,000 people created 4 games.
Yeah, this had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, again, like, my point here is, like, look, I get that Ubisoft earned that reputation, but if we let all these other companies slide all the time, they're never going to have a chance to even earn that reputation, because we're always just going to be forgiving. We're like, yeah, whatever. They're allowed to do that.
We won't be forgiving forever. If CD Projekt Red puts out games the way that Ubisoft does consistently, and the quality that they do consistently, they will get that reputation. Nobody's immune to it. Nobody did. I feel like nobody is immune. Like, Nintendo is starting... Like, Nintendo, they have a lot of people that love them. A lot. But, dude, they're... Yoshi's Woolly World, pretty similar to Yoshi's Epic Yarn. I mean, Kirby, right? Like, stylistically. Like, yeah, it plays different, but it's still just a platformer.
Yeah, but you could say that about Fallout 4. It's still... You even yourself said it's going to be Fallout just 4. Just like
Elder Scrolls.
But because it's Fallout, because it comes out once every 4 years, it's okay.
No, okay. First and second Fallout, completely different from 3 and this one, by the way. I'm just saying. Like, Nintendo has been making these
side-scrollers... So every 2 games, you're allowed to...
I still think, like you're trying to take us down these winding paths where, like...
I'm not. I'm just saying, like... No, my only point is that companies earn the reputation they get.
Because they
are... Point.
Look, if Bethesda made 30 games, there would be so much more room for error and so much more... And I'm not saying that makes Assassin's Creed justified, but it doesn't... On the converse, make Fallout justified, right?
I'm not saying
that. If anything, Fallout should have the most beautiful graphics ever because they've been developing it for like 7 years, and that's it.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
I don't think it's possible on the current systems. I don't think it's possible to make that game as good as what you think. We don't know fundamentally what that game is going to run like. It could be, we could have seen 60 frames a second gameplay. It could be ultra smooth. It could be an absolutely crazy open world. We have no idea.
And that's totally fine, but I think the weird part is the defense. The blind defense of like, well...
I'm a massive Fallout fan. I'm not defending the graphics. I'm saying the graphics are improved, but they're not next gen.
I think you, at least with me, I think you mistake my nonchalantness for defense. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to mention the graphics. Doesn't mean I think they're good. Like, when you say, I think the graphics are bad... Me not responding doesn't mean I think they're good. It just means okay, you think they're bad.
But it's like the past. It's like if Watch Dogs came out with those graphics, it would be a shit show.
It sure would.
But not for Fallout.
No, not for Fallout.
And not for Uncharted or not for Witcher.
Because they're different games, aren't they? Fundamentally different games.
But that's not... Yeah. Those are fundamentally different games. All the ones I mentioned are totally different genres, but the deal is that they're beloved. And that therefore gives them somehow this... higher level that they're
but then why
are
they beloved? Why do people like the
developers? Like they earned that, man. Like they really do earn that. And if you don't see why Fallout earned this, then that's fine. You don't.
Why
see
does anything earn immunity?
No, it's not immunity, dude. It's not immunity because this is the first time. Like it's not like there's been Fallout 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and oh, we don't care. They're always gonna look this bad. They're always gonna run like crap. Like no, that's not how it is. Okay, we had Fallout 3. Now, all these years... We had New Vegas in between, but that was Obsidian. That wasn't even Bethesda. All right, so now all these years later, we have this. All we've seen is this trailer. We don't know how it runs. Maybe the game runs really well. Because I guarantee you that if Fallout 4 comes
Again,
out...
little defense of Fallout. Like, New Vegas sucked because it wasn't Bethesda. Like, you see, this
I didn't even say it sucked.
But you said it wasn't even Bethesda. What was the point of that?
I said it... No, because I'm talking about... My point right now is specifically about Bethesda Game Studios. I said, I'm not counting New Vegas because Obsidian made it. I didn't say it sucked.
Okay.
Those were not my words.
Most people generally say that it was a letdown.
Yeah, I can't speak for those people.
Oh, okay.
My only point is that if Fallout 4 comes out, and because I don't know if you guys remember this, but when Fallout 3 came out, it had massive issues. PS3 could barely.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It couldn't handle game saves. Like there was a lot of shit that just wouldn't work.
Nobody thinks about that now.
Oh, okay.
They always think.
Plenty of people think about that. Finally, the point I'm trying to make is I think if Fallout 4 comes out and has those issues, people will be very, very, very angry. And I think next time we get a Fallout, there will be that.
But if that happened with 3, then why aren't they angry now?
Because it's a one time. Like it happened one time.
And once the game was fixed, it's fundamentally a good game. Like
yeah, and that happened.
Not Assassin's Creed Unity.
Right?
Unity wasn't a good game. It wasn't a good game. Did we enjoy? Any of us enjoy Unity? I
didn't play it, so I don't know.
I think the better way to phrase all of this, honestly, and this is just my own thing, and then we'll move on. I think the experience of some of these games is what people love more than because, like, to me, it's very hard to technically argue that The Witcher has technically good controls. No. But what I'm saying is, so then instead of saying, "Oh, it's a very," it's like your experience with the game is what's great, not necessarily the mechanics or the graphics or the technical aspects that are defined as either factually proficient or not, right?
Maybe I'm a weirdo, but all I care about is
and that's totally great. But then I just feel like the discussion about the games and the reprimanding of EA and Ubisoft gets a little bit weird. Do I love those companies and what they do? Not really. But I feel like what Max brought up in terms of this weird bias is just a little bit strange.
Yeah. I said this to Max. I think it was last week. Like I agree with him. Like I don't know why The Witcher can get away with all this because random crashes during the Gwent thing, save files disappearing, like game breaking bugs, like not being able to play on the Xbox. There's a lot of shit going on in that game.
I feel like in this current climate though, we're focusing so much on negative stuff. Every time I read something negative, all the time. Personally, with Witcher, I've had no problems in any way. No glitches, no getting stuck. I've just had a flawless experience, and I've enjoyed the game for what it is. Yeah. Obviously, Max has had issues, but
no, I don't even think Max has had issues. I think Max is just recognizing the issues that everybody else had. Like, there's a large number of people that are experiencing this, and that's a problem. Like, the Witcher has a lot of problems, and you haven't had them, I haven't had them, and that's cool. But a lot of other people are, and I think that's the point that Max is making. And why is Assassin's Creed Crucified and Witcher isn't when all these people are still experiencing it. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I'm just saying, again, I just think we need to be more fair about our critique. It's like, because the thing is, it's like, look, don't get me wrong, like, we said that before all the time, like, we tried to bring the positive, like, with things like Splatoon, like, I emphasize the positive because, again, like, for me, that was a good experience. For you guys, it was, like, average, okay, and that's great. I get that, too. But I also feel like when we critique it, like, even when I said, hey, I enjoy Splatoon, but I explained the things that I do see that I don't like about it. Like, I don't think that this is done well and this is done well. And the reason why we say that is so that hopefully if there's a chance of a Splatoon 2 coming out or something similar to this in the same genre, Nintendo could look at this and be like, oh, okay, well, this was a uniformly thing that they didn't like. So let's fix that and change that particular aspect of it. I don't think that I've ever criticized a game out of hoping to either hate it or hoping for that game to not succeed or the people that created the game to not succeed. Because I think that all games are created with a like, I know that people are going to say, well, not Ubisoft and EA games, but I think that even the people that work on Ubisoft and EA games, they're probably like, I don't want to get all willy about this, but like, they probably try their best to make good games. Like, I don't think that those people are like, don't give a crap and all they want is just money. Like, I really think that there's passionate people working on those games as well. It's just that they're on a different budget, they're on a different timeline, so they're forced to work quicker. And I think that, generally speaking, they try to put out the best game possible. It just sometimes it falls flat, and for some reason, those companies get way more flack and they get destroyed for when they make a mistake versus when many other companies make a mistake. And Nintendo is included in that as well, because oftentimes I feel like they have ridiculous immunity as well. Like, games that they make oftentimes get way more of a pass than anything else if it was published by EA, Ubisoft.
I hate the thing where everyone says, oh, it's good for the Wii U, and it's like,
yeah, you're right.
Well, we're in the current.
Agreed. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, we can move off the topic, right? And I actually love Ubisoft, believe it or not. Two of my favorite gaming experiences were from them last year. It was Child of Light and Valiant Hearts. So, like, and Rayman, they do some very, very cool stuff.
Yeah, but you see, this is the issue, is like, final point. For some reason, they released one Assassin's Creed Unity for compared to the games that they released.
Two.
Okay, Black Flag and not Black
Rogue.
Flag.
Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue and Unity, but Rogue wasn't broken; it was just generic. But for the one game that was broken and didn't work right, they did Grow Home, they did Child of Light, they did This War of Mine, they did
This War of Mine.
He means Valiant Hearts.
Oh, sorry, Valiant Hearts. Yeah, my bad. They did they did lots of games that were different and unique and stuff like that, but we all choose to focus on the one negative game that they made. And they earned...
It's more than one negative game, I'm afraid. Watch Dogs is a massive negative. It's
how, even with Watch Dogs, like, Watch Dogs to me was just as much like Watch Dogs, for example, the comparison to The Witcher, right? They experienced the same thing of like, hey, when they were revealed, the graphics were way more impressive, right?
I think it's a bit more bigger between the Witcher. Between the Watch Dogs E3 trailer, it's a lot big. That change.
If you look at some of those trailers, I would have to contest that, because again, like, maybe that the one where like they had the rain and everything, yeah, maybe there was a downscaling that was drastic, but apart from that, graphically the downscaling was, in my mind, at least from what I visually saw, quite similar. And to be honest, like, again, that's because I enjoy that genre more, of course. I like Watch Dogs more, and I thought that game was, from a mechanic standpoint, like, just as fundamentally solid. So it's just weird to me that game gets wrecked for the graphics. Witcher gets a pass. So that's the point there. Is like,
Witcher still looks good though, and I play
Watch Dogs doesn't look bad.
I know we want to move off, but I want to ask you guys a question, because I think this kind of sums it up in maybe a different way. Do you think that there is a trained acceptance of some of these things in the same way that, like, hit me once, I'll sob, hit me twice, I'll cry, hit me 3 times, I'll take it? I remember Killzone 2's trailer was unveiled at Sony, and when that game came out, like, literally people like wanted to tear out eyeballs over the fact that that had a downgrade. And then Watch Dogs has a downgrade. And then Unity has a downgrade. And then Witcher has a downgrade. Like, is there a point where people are kind of just lulled into like, well, this is what happens, so it's okay. And therefore, as we progress, right, and as these games continue to do, you know, things egregious or not, like, we just say, okay, because that's what we've been trained to accept, rather than, to me, it feels like the uproar shrinks as we kind of, you know, travel down the timeline.
That's good. Like, we're going to start getting used to it. That's the thing. Like, with Killzone, that was one of the first ones that I can remember where, like, hey, that's
probably the biggest one ever, I think, as well.
Yeah, and after that, that's the biggest because it was the first. And after that, like,
the biggest one overall in terms of quality difference between the full game and the trailers. A dramatic difference.
And you know, it happens more and more often, so we're less and less surprised by it. So, like, just the way you said it, like, we're growing immune to it.
I think the point is we should still be on our toes.
Yeah, and that's a problem because I feel like that happens because people don't critique things.
Yeah. No, and I don't want to, like, switch the topic without just reminding Max. I know Ubisoft gets a lot of shit for and I said shit about this podcast, sorry. I know they get a lot of stuff for Assassin's Creed. I know they do, right? But just recognize that they earn that, please. That's the only. And I know you haven't even played Assassin's Creed in a long time. I know,
but what I'm trying to say is that I feel like the criticism, like, that should not impact the criticism because, again, to me, like, again, like what I made the point, if they really, like, for example, if Bethesda released 10 games, right, and let's say 1 or 2 of them are broken or don't run properly, we wouldn't criticize them the same way that we criticize Ubisoft, because Bethesda is well regarded in the game industry, and they have like a special position. With Ubisoft, that reputation is earned on the basis, like, to me, the 2 games I can quote in the last, like, let's say 5 to 10 years is probably Unity and Watch Dogs. Like, that's what it's built upon, right?
I think it's built upon more than that.
Okay, what can you quote anything else that is?
Yeah, because Black Flag had issues, and then what was the one after Brotherhood? Was it Revelations? Right?
Yes.
That one had issues. Like, a lot of these games have had issues, and the fact that they're, like, sort of reskinning games and giving you the same ones. And it's fine.
You guys are asking for that for Fallout. You said we don't even want improvements. I bring up, like, shooting, clunkiness, and people are like, no, we just want Fallout.
Again, but they're not yearly. I wouldn't want the same Fallout every year.
Again, like, if there's more years between them, okay, whatever. Let's move off this. Let's talk about something positive. Lightning round is coming your way. Zeus is getting pissed off at our plodding through this topic. So, lightning round this week, it's just testing our temperature on some big games of E3. I just want to get our quick takes on, you know, we're 10 days away. And I've got 3 sets of 3 for what you are most excited for. Round 1
Tomb Raider better be in there, because I'm expecting that Blizzard trailer. You must have been hyped.
Lara's really pretty.
That was a stupid trailer.
Lara's really pretty, and that game is really pretty.
She is.
Lara's really. What do you mean by pretty? What, graphics or just in terms of beauty?
What?
What's her name? The voice actress.
It's a nice combination.
She is Lara. Like, everything in that game is beautiful.
All right, let's hit the lightning.
Round 1, you've got Batman Arkham City. And this is just Arkham Knight.
Yeah,
this is just your personal hype level. Batman Arkham Knight, okay, versus Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Doesn't matter. Batman Arkham Knight.
Mirror's
you
Edge
could put whatever you want put in there.
But Batman's coming out literally straight after E3.
But it's still an
E3
game.
Batman Arkham Knight.
All right, Gabe.
Those are the 2. I thought you were going to
3. Mirror's Edge 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Batman Arkham Knight.
Batman.
Character-driven games.
Scott?
For me, Tomb Raider by a mile.
Whew.
Batman's coming out straight after E3. I'm getting it like in a couple of days. So.
No, I know, but he's saying which of these games that are at E3 are
the question is not which one's coming out soon, guys.
I'm saying that it's coming out soon, so I'm not as hyped for it. Like, I'm getting my hands on it physically soon, right. So I'm not going to be that.
The way I'm looking at the question is, hey, if you could play one of these games tomorrow, which one would you play? And it would be Batman. For
Batman.
Right. For me,
I'm looking at differently.
I would guess Tomb Raider.
I would love to play Tomb Raider, but, like, there's a certain appeal to Mirror's Edge. Like, Mirror's Edge 1 to me is like an Evolve level darling in my heart. So I'm gonna go Mirror's Edge 2.
Wow,
that's my second choice.
All right, round 2, we're gonna go to the shooter spectrum. We've got Halo 5 versus Black Ops 3 versus Star Wars Battlefront.
Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
for me, it's going to be Battlefront, I think.
Yeah, I think I would pick Star Wars as well. Because, like, again, that's the one I want to play. Because I know what the other two are going to be.
And I'm sorry to keep going back to this, but does the fact that we get a Call of Duty every year not play into it a little bit? Like, just a little bit?
For me, it does.
I'm gonna say Black Ops 3 because from what I've heard, it sounds like one of the biggest multiplayer jumps in years, and I think of all the games that would be the one that would hook me the most.
They say that every year.
No, this one is. They're doing some different things. Like they're adding a
So was
mechanic.
the last one? The last one.
Yeah,
was
but they're
different.
adding.
They added a mechanic on the last.
All right, next lightning round.
Next round 3 is the big open world games. You got Fallout 4, Mass Effect, whatever it's called, and Metal Gear Solid 5.
Mass Effect.
You know my one's not even going to answer it. So.
Mass Effect.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
I mean,
Gabe
Fallout's
likes
gone down a
Mass
bit for me
Effect
'cause I've
over
seen it.
Fallout?
I love Mass Effect.
Over
That's like
Metal
one of
Gear,
my
too.
favorites.
Props.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's very close between Mass Effect and Metal Gear, but I'm doing the Scott thing, and like we're gonna get Metal Gear. Like I can wait for that one a little bit, but
See?
if I can speed
He's
up the
exactly
Mass
what I
Effect,
just did.
You guys
I
are
know.
hijacking my questions here. I'm
sorry.
gonna say Fallout 4. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Out of those three.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, really.
Interesting.
he just wants to talk.
I don't
shit
really
about
have
it
much
so bad.
interest in Metal Gear Solid 5, to be honest. I think Mass Effect 4 could be
that's so
super sweet,
weird.
but honestly, I think Fallout 4, in my like supposed future, could be the one that I think it has the greatest chance to be the one I like the most.
That's surprising since the whole.
So you don't like Mass
I
Effect?
love Mass Effect, I really do, but I have more. I have more
Affinity.
concern that Mass Effect 4 will be more of the same than I do Fallout a little bit. Anyhow,
All right.
that's the lightning round.
Do you have more of these? These are. That's all. Ah, man.
You want to go for another one?
If you got one, I like.
All right,
these.
we can throw youthful games in there. We can go Lego Avengers versus Yoshi's Woolly World,
Mario Maker.
Mario Maker, Lego Avengers, and
Why is Mario Maker not out yet?
Skylanders Supercharged, the new epic racing Skylanders, which I think sounds pretty darn cool, to be honest.
You should have done all Toys to Life. You should have done
Okay, Lego Dimensions, Skylanders Supercharged, and Disney Infinity 3.
Infinity.
There you go.
Disney Infinity.
Probably Lego Dimensions. Just because
Lego Dimensions.
you get Doctor Who, Portal, like there's going to be so many cool things.
But you don't get Star Wars.
Did I
okay?
read
And that's what you
yesterday
get
that
with
they're
Disney.
going to have multiple builds for the different things that you get in Dimensions? I read some article where like you can build
you're
it in
gonna be
different
able to
ways.
rebuild the Legos into different vehicles.
That's super
which
cool.
I don't even know how they're going to do that, like technologically, because the bricks must have technology in them as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they
You'd
do
think
that.
it'd be the same like NFC code, but
Yeah, I don't know. So
pure
we'll see
magic.
how they
I'll pick
pull it
Lego
off.
Dimensions just in that magic alone.
Yeah.
And then
by the way, they also did announce they're doing Midway Arcade for that. Like how
Yeah.
odd! That's such a weird IP. Like so they could do like Paperboy and Joust and like
Man,
so
Paperboy
weird.
is so great.
I know, but like imagine like a whole level for Paperboy. That's really weird.
Lego Paperboy.
Yeah,
Right?
it's gonna be weird.
Yeah, could be fun.
Yeah.
all right, and then we'll go the unannounced giants. You got Scalebound for Microsoft versus Last Guardian for Sony versus
What was that? Sorry,
I
thought I heard crickets.
Metroid. Say Metroid.
okay,
Just say
Metroid for Nintendo, even though we don't know for sure.
Well, we don't know about
Well,
it.
Scalebound hasn't been announced, and Last
Yeah.
Guardian.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
all right.
Last Guardian's in development. They never
Yeah,
said that it's
yeah.
not.
So is Metroid.
okay, so there you go.
Okay,
Your
so
final
I'm
one.
guessing
Yeah.
he picks Metroid.
Yeah, I picked Metroid.
What about you, Scott?
Try and think.
I would take
Last
Scalebound
Guardian.
hands
Yeah,
down.
I would probably take Scalebound.
Scalebound did look amazing. Was it that?
Yeah.
We saw a trailer last year.
Yeah,
didn't we?
that was the
That's
guy,
monster.
the anime-looking guy running with the sword
with
towards
the
the dragon.
headphones.
Actually, that looked
It was
pretty
basically
And
Naruto
the
come to
headphones.
life.
good. Yeah.
But what's with the headphones? Come on, man. No.
The headphones
those
was
headphones
good.
off.
Listen, it
Platinum
always worked
Games.
out. They need to have more characters with goggles too, like they did in Digimon. Remember, they always had the goggle.
Yeah,
character.
dude. What was his name? I was about to say him.
Ty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ty. Yeah, him and Agumon made a
They
great
did.
pair.
I was really partial to what's her name, Kairi and Gatomon. That was my
course.
Yeah.
that's my secret Digimon crush.
Okay.
Like, how cool was it, right? When they digivolved for the first
Yeah.
time, like that was the coolest thing. Because in Pokemon, right?
Just the way you said that was the coolest thing, guys. That was such a cool
Because in
thing,
Pokemon,
yo.
Because here's the thing about Pokemon: they evolve, but then that's it. They're evolved forever. And Digimon, they can go back to being super cute, but when they need to, they can be all like, giant.
Digimon is awesome.
And then Series 2, you got the egg Digimon going on.
Remember Series 3 with the cards?
Yeah,
that's my favorite one. That was the best one.
They got that cactus with the punching gloves. And
do you guys remember the Tomodachi Digimon?
I never had one of those.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Nice.
Digimon also had
at a novelty shop.
The naming conventions of like a psychopath. Like Pokemon is like kind of like makes sense, but you have things that like to me are just completely like, you know, Kabuterimon and Vmon and every Mon, whatever the heck they're called. Let's move to emails. Yeah. Can't stop asking at gmail.com is where you can write us and talk at us. We got some good questions this week, so I want to dive into them straight off the bat. This one's from Colin. And he says, "Hey guys, big fan. I watch all the podcasts and love to hear about gaming news outside of." I'll admit that. Here's my question: would it be possible for another video game genre to exist, and what would it be? We have story-based games like The Witcher and The Last of Us, FPS shoot-'em-up giants like Call of Duty and Battlefield, more open-world sim games like Grand Theft Auto and, well, The Sims. We have sports-themed games like Madden and FIFA, multiplayer, 2D platformers. So could a new genre of game be created in this day and age or in the coming years? Could the next generation of consoles introduce something so new that we would have a brand new style of game? Perhaps virtual reality could bring this introduction. If so, what do you think a new genre could be?
Here's a sad reality about life in general.
Oh, here we go.
There is nothing new under the sun, and there will never be again.
What?
There is nothing new. Everything is derivative of something else. Like, even all these movies that we love, like, they're just deviations of things that we've seen before. Same with games.
Evolve is brand new. Splatoon is brand new.
I wouldn't say that. It's a shooter. They're shooters.
Okay.
He's saying a new genre.
So is a MOBA a shooter as well because you're shooting stuff?
No, MOBA's a MOBA. It's a genre. He's saying a new
genre based on who? Like God genre? Who makes the genres up?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we'll get like new genres like FPS type thing, but I think that you could almost call like Dark Souls games their own genre, right?
Yeah.
So I think that we'll get more genre in that regard, like where games are going to become.
Or you can call them action games.
Yeah, I know, but they're so different to a typical like I guess it just depends how big you want to make that umbrella, right? Like if you make one huge umbrella and just put everything under there, and then you subclassify it by setting or further down, then yeah, there's never going to be any new genres. But I think if you allow it to be a little bit more niche, then I think we'll get more things like Dark Souls, where it'll be like very specific, like a certain type of game. Because now a lot of times people do say like, oh, that game is Dark Souls-esque, and people know what they refer to with that, like the difficulty and the repetitive of dying and so on and so forth. So I think we'll get more of that.
We did get a pigeon dating simulator this year. And we're getting a sequel.
But that's a simulator.
I mean, I think, yeah, if you're going to be really
a pigeon dating,
if you're going to be really picky, then yeah, no genres. But I think you're seeing already something like Battleborn, which we discussed earlier, like that kind of is looking to carve out its own space, and maybe there,
even though it's a MOBA,
but it's
maybe
VR will introduce punishment games where you hook up little electrodes to you, and if you're bad or you die, you receive pain, and that'll be a new genre: pain games, punishment games, sadomasochism.
I would be surprised if that takes off.
50 Shades of Games.
Yeah, no, there's some weirdos out there, man. There's some strange...
Too many of them.
There's 4 on this podcast.
Hall writes in and says, a little bit of Saltoon in that last podcast, guys. Why can't The Witcher 3 and Splatoon both be great games?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said that. Who is this?
This is Hall.
Was there...
Paul?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm with you.
Okay, I don't know. I mean... I think that part of the charm... Okay, let us put it this way, guys. I think that part of the charm is the fact that we do have different personalities, and therefore we have different things that we like. And therefore, when we come to the podcast, we can bring that to the podcast to be like, hey, what did you find interesting about The Witcher? And if I didn't enjoy it, or Zach didn't enjoy it, or to the extent that maybe Gabe and Scott have, if they can articulate why they enjoyed it, I think that makes for a much more interesting conversation.
Which we never can.
I don't think that criticism removes quality. I think that some people just want to remove criticism in order to push quality. Like, I think The Witcher is still a very good game. I like maybe you get the opinion that, oh, I think The Witcher sucks because I have critiques of it, but really, like, I think The Witcher is a pretty well-made game. You know, I don't personally love it, but yeah, critique and criticism doesn't necessarily remove, like, hey, this is good. Jones.
The only thing I'll say about that is that sounds perfectly fair right there, what you just said. The thing is, that's not the sentiment you make clear most
because
of the time.
Because people refuse to accept the fact, like, The Witcher 3 doesn't control well, technically.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
You can't just say what you just said and then just say that straight afterwards.
Yes, I can. They're both true.
Yeah, they sort of are.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the same thing as, like, you can always, like, I don't see why you can't say that, because, like, it almost feels like you have to have a game that's 10 or 0. Like, if we're rating games on a scale of 1 to 10, to me, a game that's anywhere above, like, 7, that's a good game. Like...
Yeah.
So,
but Zach was saying Witcher is a 6 now. Like it's not 6.
Yeah. Now, and here's the thing about Zach, and he's admitted this. He just never admitted it on the podcast. He sort of just likes messing with us to an extent. Like a lot of this is just him messing
mess,
with
85% truth. Jones Ben brings up an interesting game. He talks about liking the Marvel Universe and says, "Do you guys think there would ever be a Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and would any of you look forward to playing that?"
Yes, those games are.
Was that
awesome.
Activision? Right?
Yes,
that was still Activision.
Yes.
I don't see why they wouldn't, dude. It's perfect time.
The second one wasn't as good as the first, but that first Marvel Ultimate Alliance game was really good. It was like a kind of a little bit Diablo clone-ish in terms of, like, it was top down. Have you guys played it?
I haven't played it.
I played both.
Yeah,
they did the Civil War stuff, right?
That was the second one.
Oh, the second one. Yeah.
The first one was, like, really, really good. It was like Loki and the Frost Giants and Doctor Doom, and
I remember.
It was really good.
On that spaceship.
So I would love. I really don't understand why there isn't a Marvel game. Like, it almost feels like somebody's leaving way too much money on the table. Like, just even from a business perspective, I don't understand why nobody's pursuing.
I thought about that, dude. Like, why? Like, you're right. It makes zero sense. These movies are making billions of dollars. The toys are selling like hotcakes, if hotcakes are still a hot thing. Why aren't there games? Like,
I don't know. I mean, from what I remember is, like, I remember reading a thing, like somebody from Marvel said, is that they are like, we don't want to make no more like games just for the sake of having a game, like a tie-in. We want to make sure that the next game we make is, like, actually polished. And then a few months after that was when they revealed that game for the Kinect and the Wii U. Remember the one that's like motion and stuff, where the swiping, and it was like, okay, so you approved that project, why can't you approve another game? I don't know. I think there's also maybe some sort of legal thing, like where maybe Sega owns some rights, and then Activision
Sega doesn't own anything,
because Sega made the Iron Man games and Hulk games. So
yeah, they were publishing, but
so I'm not sure.
I don't think they own anything.
Well,
like, no.
I don't know. But
I feel like,
there has to be
Marvel
a reason.
Has to, like, perhaps buy out a studio or create their own studio.
That's what they should
and start from scratch.
Exactly.
Invest in their own property.
To be fair, I know this isn't what you're talking about, but we're getting a Marvel game next year, presumably. Telltale.
Oh yeah,
okay,
but
that's not really. That's different.
Yeah.
There, you want to talk about genres? There, Telltale became a genre.
Yeah,
right?
the Telltale genre.
Yeah.
No, point and click.
No, the Telltale genre, like, the engine sucks, and they reuse.
Oh
wow. Tyrone also wrote in about why hasn't there been an Avengers game? It would make so much money. It makes no sense that they wouldn't want to cash in on this. Give us a proper third-person Avengers game. And I do. I think it's very odd. I think it's very strange. Daniel writes in with kind of a unique...
Oh, but by the way, guys, don't forget, you can't play Marvel Heroes. That's an all-right MMO.
Yes. Good point. It has improved. They've made it better.
It's in year 2. Good stuff.
Have you guys heard of Everybody's Going to the Rapture? I feel like it's not getting any hype for how it looks and how it's different. Seems like a lot of these great-looking non-AAA games don't get the hype cycle that something like Destiny, he says, gets.
The reason it doesn't get the hype is because it doesn't get a date. Like, once we know when it's coming.
Wait,
like,
you want to tell me that Everybody Goes to the Rapture is going to have the same hype as Destiny, Gabe? What world do you live in, my friend?
Of course not. But it will have its own little.
It'll have a little hype.
Place.
It's the same
like,
thing. It's the same thing as when we evaluate games. Like, it's the same thing as when, like, you do a score for it. If it's an indie title, you're gonna judge it differently than a AAA title, and that's just the way it is. Because it's the same thing in anything in life. Like when you buy a Toyota, if you go into a Toyota and you sit in it and you're about to drive like a Toyota Corolla, and like, you know what, this doesn't have all the features of a Mercedes. It's like, guess what? You didn't pay for a Mercedes, so don't expect that kind of experience. So I think that's just part of it. Like, because it's not a AAA title, it's not going to get the same marketing. It's not going to get the same push.
Well, I haven't even heard of it, so
yeah.
That's really?
No, I haven't heard of it.
You probably have seen it though.
Is there an indie game that you guys are most looking forward to at E3, like a smaller title that you're really excited to hear more about?
yes.
Okay.
I don't know if Tacoma's going to be. Is Tacoma going to be there?
Yes. I assume.
Yeah,
that's the project from the Gone Home people, correct?
Yes. If that Fulbright, I believe, is her name, right?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I'm not fully up to date with like all the indie stuff. I must be honest. I feel like I've sort of fallen off that train a little bit in terms of like, indie title I'm really excited about. There's nothing particular I'm looking at, but I just look at the release calendar on Steam and then just see what's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tacoma's a big one. Also, I mean, today, and I usually don't even talk about Kickstarter really, but there was a really, really cool one that launched, and I want to make sure I don't get the name wrong, so I'm going to check my Twitter.
Yeah, I'll pick Ukulele then.
It's called We Happy Feel. Have you guys seen this?
We Happy Feel?
We Happy
We feel happy. We happy feel. That's basically how I am when I play like Evolving Yoshi's
Happy
Woolly World.
Few? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I've played it. It's very weird.
Whoa, that is so weird. It looks like Bioshock a little bit, like the art. The first thing that pops up.
The strange part is they don't really know what the the game is yet.
It's very Bioshock.
Yeah, like right away I get a Bioshock vibe.
The demo I played, you were looking to sneak into these buildings and steal stuff without any idea of where the stuff was or what buildings they were really in, and then if you became suspicious, people would start chasing you, and you could like go in any of the buildings, jump out the windows. Like, so it's more of, at least the state I played at PAX East, it was more of a conceptualized sandbox than like a finished game, but it has a cool aesthetic.
Yeah, it has a really cool art.
Yeah, it's still being worked on. I mean, the Kickstarter just launched today. Like, actually, like 3 hours ago.
My two are two PS4 exclusives, and no, it's not the supposed No Man's Sky. It's The Witness from Jonathan Blow, which I want to see finally release.
That's a timed exclusive.
Soon.
I want to collect all those dots, man.
And then Rime, another PS4 exclusive that looks like an insanely beautiful game.
It's the sequel to Rise, guys.
Yeah, I believe that's by Tequila Works. Is that
Tequila Works?
I don't know.
Am I?
While he looks that up, shout out to Below, because I think that's coming this year, and that looks crazy.
Below is... I did not like Below.
I'd want the full release of Darkest Dungeon, even though it's already like basically better than most games.
Yeah, Rime is made by Tequila Works, and it's like that freaking gorgeous game with a boy on an island and all these weird creatures and colors, and it's like basically made for me, so... I want to be a boy on an island. It's me. It's me on the island.
Do you get excited for like exclusives, indie titles on console? Do you think that's like a factor in?
I do.
I don't think so.
Way.
I think it's a nice checklist, or like, you know, a nice like, hey, thumbs up. But I don't think people are.
Here's an exclusive game.
I think people are becoming that way just because we're getting so far and few between like actually like big exclusives that I think now. Like little things are becoming more and more.
Do you think so though? With
Xbox has enough this year to be exciting.
Like the expectation though that these games eventually come to PC, to me, kind of like.
Yeah, dents it a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you know it's going to happen at some point, like early access or Steam.
Something.
I don't know. I Ori and the Blind Forest, my favorite game of the year. Like I said, very small. I think out of everybody here, I'm the one that likes indie games the most. So I try to, you know, vocalize support for them as much as I can. But
have you played Invisible Ink?
No.
Have you played Massive Chalice?
Yes, I did. Also, I played that this week, and I also played Adventures of Pip.
How are those?
Adventures of Pip.
Pip.
Oh, Pip. What's wrong with me today? I keep mishearing. We love happy or.
Massive Chalice is cool. I like it. Did you play it at all, Zach? Yeah, I played the first like maybe 40 minutes of it. I wish I would have played more.
Is it like
cool
XCOM for beginners?
Sort of. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you don't get into XCOM a whole lot because you know because that genre is like a little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
So play Massive Chalice. It's free on with games for Windows Gold or whatever you call it. I don't know.
Phil Spencer gives it to you.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Only if you're a gold member, though.
Oh.
And Adventures of Pip. I want Pip.
Pip.
I wanted to talk about it during the show, but I didn't get to. It's a cool little side scroller, man. Like that game has a lot of things that I liked growing up. It has the world map just like Mario. You don't have to, but each level has a set amount of characters that you gotta find, and they're like hidden. There's a lot of little secrets to it. Have you seen this at all, any of you?
I haven't personally, no.
But you just described it very similarly to what Zach described Yoshi's Woolly World.
It's a cool game that's side scrolling. You find lots of cool hidden stuff.
The one cool mechanic here is that you play as a little red square, right?
Okay.
That's
Sounds
that's,
a bit.
That's a character.
That's the cool part.
Right, but no.
I mean, Gabe,
but
you really need to reevaluate your marketing skills.
Let me finish. I'm not great at marketing.
You control a square.
You play as this little red square, but you do turn into a boy.
Okay.
You turn into a boy.
When you destroy a certain type of enemy, you turn into a boy, and the boy can punch. The square can jump higher, and he can like sort of glide.
Sorry, so is this boy trapped inside a red box?
This sounds like the precursor to Box Boy. If you guys remember that epic game.
It's just funny because he's like, you can turn into a boy, and then you can punch. Anyone?
All right, here, let me tell you the story. Let me tell you how the story goes.
Okay.
The kingdom is being attacked by an evil queen named D. Reza because she wants to like
I thought you were going to call it Bowseretta because this.
She wants to be the highest resolution woman in all the land.
That's good.
So she wants everybody to be one pixel.
Okay, that's why he's a pixel. Okay, now that makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah. So he wants to be. She wants everybody to be a pixel except her. She wants to be 16-bit or 18-bit, whatever it is. So, and you have to go save the land, and you do get more pixels as you go, and you get different abilities.
Maybe that's why Fallout doesn't look good. It's like lore based. Like in that they didn't have, because the bombs went off, they didn't have a chance to develop better graphics engines like UE4 or stuff like that wasn't around. So they're like, man, we're just true to the lore. Because I love that excuse. Like the Witcher story is boring because Witchers are boring. Like that's the lore definition. Smash Brown writes in. He's written in before.
I like how he moves on really quickly.
Yeah, I know. He's like, I just had to get it in. It's been a while since I said anything about that. A whole 30 minutes.
Zach, Gabe, and Cody. And Scott.
Yeah, I still get called Cody.
It's a Cody still.
Dude, I get emails that say, hi, Cody, and Cody.
Yeah.
I know you guys have done your favorite games, but what about your most hated games? If you guys don't want to be too negative, that's okay, but do you have a most hated game of all time?
Evolve.
Really?
I really don't think that I don't think that there's any game that I hate. I think like there's games that like if I just don't enjoy, I just like I'm not gonna play that, and that's it.
I have one game that I hate too, but it's stupid.
Really? Oh, actually, no. I will name one. One that
all right.
FIFA.
Everybody think of one. Now I'll say mine first. It came out last year. It was Powerpuff Girls and
it's a bad game. It's a really bad game.
Yeah, did you play it? It was on Steam. That game is such.
Feels like it was made by like an 8-year-old with like a build your own game maker and then skinned it with like bubbles.
Yeah, that game was terrible.
I want to check this out, so I'm looking it up.
It's the latest Powerpuff Girls game.
Horribly.
What do you mean the latest? Has there been multiple Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah, there's been more than one game.
Mine, like I don't know if it's hate, but like it's probably one of my worst experiences with games. I heard a lot of people on podcasts talk about how Earth Defense Force was such a fun series to play local co-op, and so me and my brother got one for 360, and like it legit was like the stupidest game I've ever played. Like giant ants, the gun control is terrible. There's like no feedback. I just didn't get it at all.
And they fully do that on purpose. They're making bad games on purpose over there.
Well, so, and then I guess they've succeeded.
That Armored Core series, I can't get that. I know.
Armored Core used to be so cool back when I was on the PlayStation.
Really?
I
don't get understand, but people love that game. I can't get into it.
Mine would be FIFA, but it's more like love-hate because it's like I play it and
you play it
I know
all the time.
It's the most abusive relationship you could ever have with a game because it's like it beats you up, but then you still go back, and it's like I can't stop playing it, but I always am frustrated by everything that game does.
That's interesting because
so what's your favorite team then? Do you play like Canadian teams or do you?
Well, sometimes I use Toronto FC, worst team in the MLS. Wow. Yay! That's what we do.
It makes me think of Madden. I used to love Madden, and then like when the interception issue, Gabe, you know what I'm talking about, became like a major problem, I feel like it's literally just a roll of the dice and skill. When you remove that from the equation, at any moment I could throw 3 consecutive picks and lose, like I have zero interest in playing anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, FIFA does a lot of that type of stuff too. Like yesterday I was playing and I was getting yellow cards for things that... Don't get me started. Just don't get me started.
Zach, I don't really mean this, but how fun would it be to get like a 2K5 remaster? Like, it's the best football game of all time. That was an amazing
shot themselves
game.
in the foot by being too successful, and then EA goes and buys the license. But we are getting that like Joe Montana football, whatever the heck it is.
Oh yeah. But that one is not going to have anything licensed, no?
They can't.
Yeah.
It'd be like Pro Evo again. Ugh.
Our email of the week comes from Jordan, and I'm just going to read it. It's not really a question. It's more just his
first name, Michael.
Thought. Yeah, Michael Jordan. He sent me a picture of his Hanes here. But this is just more of a comment on last week, and I thought it was just well thought out, so I wanted to give him a little spotlight. Hello to my favorite gamers. It must be talking to me. I listen to Can't Stop Playing every week.
There's plural, Zach.
Gamers, not games.
I listen to Can't Stop Playing every week, and when I heard you guys discussing hatred, I found that I agree with both sides of the debate. Do I think the game existing is bad? Not really. But I agree as well with Zach when he brings up that kids and squids versus hatred thing. I personally wouldn't play the game, slightly because I'm more geared towards kids and squids than hatred. But I also possess the quality that you brought up, where if I was playing a game or in real life and someone said, here, kill this guy that hasn't done anything to you, I couldn't do it, even in-game, because I just don't believe that would ever be okay. And I'm not saying that people who play games like that think it's okay to kill people or would ever do anything like that. I just say I personally can't do it. When Hotline Miami was brought up as well, I remember the show where that game was discussed, and personally I would have asked for a full refund or returned the game, just because the thought of performing an action like that makes me feel like an awful person, and I just can't play a game like that. If people are into hatred or Hotline, fine. Just don't do things like that in real life, and don't make me play the game or associate me with things like that as a gamer. On a more positive note, though, I'm going to buy Splatoon soon, and I'm really pumped. I wish I could try out even half the games you guys talk about, but I only own a Wii U right now.
Sorry.
Wow, Scott.
Zach think that's all you need ever.
That is not true. Okay, 90% of my game time is on PS4 and Xbox One.
Joking.
I like one Nintendo game this
There's
year.
no games on Wii U.
One Nintendo game this year. I'm not even a fanboy.
I'm
I'm sorry they make good games. I'm sorry that their designers know mechanics better than anybody on the planet. I'm sorry
I
that
was
they
fully
understand how to
joking.
merge fun and color with actual good design, unlike any other game studio. I'm sorry that them and PopCap are the only ones that know how to take hardcore mechanics and merge them with cute design. I'm sorry that the Wii U gamepad is innovative and different than every other controller. I'm sorry that the Wii U is the cheapest console out there and has the most exclusives. I'm sorry that it has the most games rated above a 9.0.
You said to yourself you're playing one game this year. That's all you're playing.
Sorry,
so you most of your time on the other consoles.
I'm sorry that it is uncool that you're not cool if you like it. I'm sorry that you've been trained from a young kid to like killing and violence, and so things like fun and happiness don't float your boat, especially as a young male.
You better end this thing with like that Kermit meme where he's drinking tea and he's like, "That ain't my problem, though."
No, okay. What's this guy's name? The email guy, Jordan. Man, that was a great email.
A very fair and well balanced analysis of everything we discussed.
I also agree with your statement about like I question when he says, "Oh, kill this person." I'm like, why though? He's done nothing wrong. I would sit there like you can either start a fight or you can kill the person or you can walk off. I would normally just walk off because, but
see,
because you're
the
a
way
reasonable
I play the Witcher,
human being.
Exactly, sensible and
unlike Jared.
But I do love Hotline Miami though, and I don't like to put it in the same category as hatred. That's the one thing I take issue with. They're not the same type of game. Yes,
brutal murdering of innocent people
and having sex with a poor female.
Not everybody that you kill in Hotline Miami.
Not everyone, guys. Okay.
I mean, well, because you do kill a lot of cops.
Are there any cops?
Hey, hold on. But there is cops that are like not on the right side of the law. So
kill them.
Dodgy cops.
That's
just in the game. Kill them. Don't kill anyone in real life ever.
You heard it here first, guys. Gabe. You're like Smokey the Bear. Like, don't start forest fires. Don't kill anyone. Let's wrap this entire beautiful package up with a little tour of Hype City. We've talked about a bunch of games that you could be hyped for, or something else. Maybe you're hyped for Ant-Man. Maybe you're hyped for the plane flight to Los Angeles in 10 days. But where are we traveling on our train tour?
I have mine if y'all need time.
Get going.
Go on, Gabe.
Mine I get to experience tonight, and it is Hannibal. Season 3 premiere is tonight. That show is so good. Do any of you watch it? I know Zach doesn't watch it.
I don't
watch it.
Too much blood. I'm joking. Not enough ink.
I watched a couple of episodes of season 1. That show is like really, really weird because it's like it's as much as it's like super violent, it's not super violent. Kind of. I know it sounds weird because
season 2
isn't
one of the most
like
violent
really,
things
really
I've
gross
seen.
though because there's a lot of like things where they imply like people eating people, and it's like where they don't even know that they're eating people, and it's so weird. It's like I was like, oh, it's really gross.
I'll say this about the end of season 2, and I guess it's not a real spoiler, but sort of spoiler. Nobody cares. All right, the 4 main characters in the show all appear to be dead at the end of season 2. Like it seems like they all got murdered. They did,
and they did.
So
you already know what happens in season 3.
I know a little bit, interviews and whatnot, but I'm crazy excited for it. They're following the Red Dragon storyline. If you guys have seen that movie or read that book, fantastic stuff coming up, and yeah, I'm excited for that. Plus, the finals start, so that I'm excited for that.
NBA finals, in case you're not aware.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm like final start. I'm like Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
it already started last night, didn't it?
I'm going to say go Cleveland just because I don't want to be a Golden State bandwagon
So instead you're a Cleveland bandwagon person because they got LeBron back.
No, I've liked Cleveland in the past. Like before LeBron left, I loved Cleveland. Like, 5-6 years ago. But
LeBron's going to go boom shakalaka. And he's going to get it.
He's going to be on fire.
Steph Curry and his baby face will beat LeBron and make him cry. His hairline isn't the only thing to be sad about this time of year.
There was an infogram on Twitter. I think ESPN did it, where they showed a little yellow dot everywhere that Steph Curry's made a shot throughout his career. It's impressive
stuff.
Is
it everywhere?
I have no idea what's going on.
Me neither, Scott. I'm just whenever half the time when they talk about like American football and basketball, I'll just literally just start throwing names in. I'll be like, yeah, I think Wayne Brady. Oh, wait, there's no Wayne Brady.
You want us to talk
Wayne
about
Brady is the host, isn't he?
Oh. Wayne Brady?
Isn't he the host?
You mean
Tom's younger brother's taken over since he got suspended.
Yeah, you see, that's how those go. So, Hype City for Zach, where are you at?
I'm taking it to Battleborn. I think that thing looks exciting. I like the idea of a mashup of shooter and character development. It does give me a little bit of an Evolve vibe, but it feels like they're pushing this one maybe further, and maybe it won't be received as poorly as Evolve. So I'm excited to see how it controls and plays. The one thing I do want to make sure is that the shooting itself feels good, because sometimes when you've got these games where you're just shooting a bunch of stuff, it feels very rote. So I hope that they have
Destiny-like.
Destiny-like shooting mechanics plus all this interesting leveling up and powers and whatnot.
Cool. What about you, Scott?
Cool. I'm going to cheat and I'm going to say 2 things. So I'm really excited for Fallout 4 because I love the trailer. There's a lot of things to sort of pick up on and get really excited about. Also, I loved the last episode of Game of Thrones, so I'm looking forward to the last 2 episodes. Game of Thrones was awesome. The last episode
finally. This season episode picked up, right?
Very much.
Yeah, it took so long, but this, man, it
was worth it.
That sequence, man.
It felt like a really, really, really good movie sequence, which is...
They blew their budget, though. That's what it feels like. I don't know what
we're not getting any CGI for the rest of the season.
I don't know what they're... Dude, and is it just me? I know Zach could give 2 craps about this, but
I've just never seen everything. Episode, that's all. It's not that I don't care.
Everything south of the wall doesn't matter now. I don't care what happens. With Cersei,
but I mean, they implied that all of last season, too. Remember, towards the end of last season, they were like, "Yeah, there's a much bigger thing coming."
Yeah, and that was it.
Now I really don't care about Cersei. I don't care what the hell Sansa's doing. I mean, obviously she's in a temple.
Yeah. He's in it, dude.
Yeah, Santa.
You gotta see him,
man.
Dude.
Now I gotta see Game of Thrones.
He works out. You should see his. He's got this battle axe that's got antlers on him. It's crazy. It is insane.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You mentioning antlers makes me more hyped for Hannibal, by the way. But yeah, dude, I don't care about anything south of the wall anymore. Don't show me that anymore. Just show me the White Walker stuff.
But when they all get back up again, I'm like, oh, you are in trouble.
Yeah, those are the white. Dude, everybody that they kill.
They come back. How are they going to win?
You can't. And how long does that last? Can they just walk around all King's Landing and just resurrect anybody that's on the ground? What? Or do they have to have recently died?
You can't finish them off, can't you? You can chop their heads off.
No. You can kill them with that special type of.
Yeah.
Remember?
Well, no. The whites you can kill with anything. The White Walkers you can't kill. You can only kill those with the Valerian steel.
Holy moly! Is this a Witcher? Kill that Griffin with that Valerian steel.
I wish The Witcher was this. That would.
It might as well be this.
Pretty much, it's very similar in some ways.
Yeah. What about you, Maxwell? Where's our last stop?
For me, it probably would be also Game of Thrones. Thank you for reminding me that. And then the other thing is that this week, this is going to be the most childish of the bunch, but I'm excited for it. Lego Worlds. It's finally Lego doing like a Minecraft style game. So
how is that?
I got to play it. It's pretty good. Like right now, it definitely feels still early access in terms of the fact that there are some things that are not particularly working. But what I do like about it is that it does kind of like, it doesn't do the Minecraft thing of where like you have to collect all these resources and remember all the recipes. Here, it's like if you stumble across, let's say, a tree, right? Like once you break a tree once, you can now build trees whenever you want. Wow. You can summon in castles. You can like have all these epic builds. So it's like, unlike with Minecraft where it takes you like a long time to build something, here you could have like, oh hey, I want to build a castle. Boom, you put it down, and it just assembles.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Fun fact. It took us 60 hours to build the Avengers Tower in Reign of Kings.
Wow.
There you go. That's a fun fact. Yeah. So I'm excited for it because again, Minecraft was inspired by Lego, so it's kind of interesting that now there's a Lego game that is directly inspired. Is
it multiplayer?
It's gonna be.
Is it like a big open?
Yeah.
So it's not right now. Like if I wanted to go play this with you today, I can't.
I think you may be able to join my world if you take my network ID. Like when you log on to your world, in the bottom right. I don't think there's a way
to do it at the moment. I think it exists. That's for like future.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because right now when you log in, they have like a little code that's like your world, the world that you're in.
So there's no servers?
I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure maybe
this isn't early access. So
yeah.
Yeah, so it's only literally just come out and it's early access. So
it's...
Well, yeah, all these games are early access.
And it's a $15 game, by the way.
Yeah, it's not.
Can you clear this up for me then? I thought there was servers, and I thought I could go mess with stuff that like if you're building something, can I go troll you and like break it down?
Well,
and stuff?
In the final game, I'm guessing that will be viable.
Just right now. Also, it is really, really, really early.
It feels like I've done the game though. It works.
Yeah. Like the single player, I think is there. Like you have all the mechanics of the single player stuff there. Like there's vehicles,
I didn't even know
there's characters that you can meet. The only one thing that I feel is they're missing right now is that there is no mobs to fight. Like in Minecraft, like you have the creeper, zombie, all those things that.
I've been attacked by a skeleton.
Oh yeah, you're right. In the castle, yeah, he was trying to chase me, but he got trapped in the castle.
Do they drop loot when you kill them?
Yeah, they drop studs.
It's like coins. Or
So studs is the only thing?
What do you mean?
No, do you got weapons and stuff?
Yeah, you can craft weapons and stuff like that.
Okay,
you can ride a dragon.
I can.
I think at some point this week, one of us has to get on that Ark Dino game.
I'm playing it.
So I'm going to jump on that. It's like this open world dinosaur survival.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. The one that's like, that's what I like to call a YouTube game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Reign of Kings with dinosaurs. Basically.
But there is a single player mode.
It takes like 2 hours to tame an animal or something.
Cool. So we're all hyped for different things. Yay.
Sounds good. Speaking of 2 hours, we are approaching 2 hour mark, so we'll wrap things up next week. We'll be almost at E3. It's getting very close now, and the good stuff is coming. Fallout 4 this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Let us know what you think about the recent announcements. Yeah, please. Please.
And contrary to what people think, people like still think that we don't like each other.
Oh yeah, that's why we talk on a weekly basis. We log on. We're like, hey, listen, let's do this thing, guys. We just like debating.
We have extreme love sessions off the podcast, in like a very not
Witcher,
like a real like nice normal way.
Oh yeah, sure. Wrap it up, Zach.
Thanks so much. Email us at can'tstopasking@gmail.com. Follow all of our fun faces on Twitter, twitter.com/GhostRobo, twitter.com/Blitzwanger, twitter.com/VoltaGame, and twitter.com/GameRiotArmy. We are going to be doing something a little bit with the iTunes feed next week, so stay tuned for that. We'll be kind of relaunching in a way, so you'll want to pay attention when we come back next week. Until that time, though, guys and girls, thanks so much for listening. Hope you're having a great week. Watch out for all of that nasty radiation, and God help us that Fallout turns out to be as awesome as people hope it is. Until that time, though, thanks again. We will see you all later.
Bye.